You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression,
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. bloody and stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test, expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next,
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play it, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race, life is a chase. I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test, expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next,
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race, life is a chase. I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. Your check is I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try to change, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race.
Yes, people, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome back to another Transfer Watch on a Chelsea Perspective. More importantly, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone, and I do hope you all are doing well. Today, again, as usual, it's become a cliche. We have quite a lot to talk about. We'll talk about the young Wesley, Fofana, Ethan Ampadu, and every other player that Chelsea are linked with. We try to make sense of everything we see out there. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, welcome back to today's show. We have quite a lot to talk about. Like I just said, it's become a cliche. Every day there's quite a lot to talk about because quite a lot is happening. So it's not our fault. And I hope that stops soon so that we can shorten the length of the show. But that's, by the way, it's always fun, no matter how long it goes. Sometimes we'll go beyond 3 hours to 4 hours. But if it can be shorter, it will be enjoyable. And apologies again. Regarding the Convo show, I decided against starting it without the graphics being ready, without a proper announcement, so other people can know about, should I say, commence the start of the show and be part of it. But that's, by the way, I said it's a tradition here on Chelsea Perspective. I will start immediately by looking at what we have in the chart. Say people to hello there, because we are a family here, and that's how we do things on a Chelsea Perspective. Let's see what we'll have there already. Pardon me 1 second. In the chat, we have the first person here is Phantom. He says, I don't want Tuchel to get Aubameyang before the Fulham game. Yeah, you still want to be a Fulham player before he gets him, okay? We'll see. Blue morning, Kachila, panel, and chat. Blue morning to you too, Lamlin. I hope you're doing well. Abhinap, how are you doing, bro? I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. And this is still Abhinap saying hello to, again, this is just people saying hello to each other. How long is a beat? It's just 10 minutes, 5 minutes before the show starts. That intro there you see starts playing. And then 5 minutes after the regular time, the show starts properly. So yeah, how long is not too much. You like to put me on the spot, don't you? But that's, by the way, here we have a Phantom, just people saying hello to each other. Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning to you too, Louis Rivera. I hope you're doing well. Let me see anything else to read here. Hi, beautiful Chelsea FC family. Altazar CBY, nice to see you, Altazar. It looks like this is your first time here. Please, if this is your first time, if you haven't, take a second, to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. you are very welcome. Express yourself as long as you keep it respectful. Big up, big up, big up, coach and everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. Yes, thank you very much for asking that. The coolest says whenever you can, just let the show progress a bit. Share the link to your channel. Tell people about your channel. No worries. You are allowed to do that. And Crazy E, I'm going to make you a more tune, brother. Soundtrack is on fire. Yet the song is, I'll give you the name later on. I can't find it here. Again, just people saying hello to each other. Let me see if there's anything else to read here. And again, Ronaldo, as always. Are you Ronaldo's agent? You let us know, Joker. You're always screaming his name every time. That's the first thing you do. But I sincerely don't think it's coming to Chelsea. Good day, guys, says the Supreme Court. I hope you're doing well, brother. Thank you for finding the time to join us today. Always a pleasure to see you there in the chat. Looks like our interest in Ronaldo has reignited again, probably because of what we're seeing, his face shown on camera, how he was looking in that day. But I don't think that's the case. Again, we'll see what happens there. Let's keep it going, people. What do we have next here? In 48 hours, we will know that FDJ is staying at Barcelona or going to Chelsea. Yeah, that situation, it's a bit confusing. I'm not sure what he wants to do. We're seeing conflicting reports out there. Some Barcelona outlets, even some of the biggest Barcelona outlets, are pushing the rumors that we're already, I think we're preparing a bid for the player and that he's close to joining Chelsea. And then some others are saying that he's mentally strong and is staying and is ready to help the team and that he has a good relationship with Xavi. But that's, by the way, I have decided that I prefer the Paul over the Jong. I do not know the Paul. I don't even know who the player is. Maybe you can educate us well on him. I'm a fan, so I like him. Okay. And here is Retro Sports channel. Don't really want FDJ, would rather wait to get Declan Rice. And again, thank you so much for finding time to join us here. I wanted to say, I don't know your channel that much, so I wanted to say, ask people to go check it out. But if they can, go check it out. And if you like what you see, do subscribe. Abjikani Sullivan says Chelsea with all the emojis that follow that even scared the heck out of Nightbot. But that's, by the way, again, he's saying, yep, again, let's see here what we'll have. What's up, coach? What's up, Atiza CBY? I'm doing well. How about you? I hope you're doing well too. Now, let's see what else we have here. A blue morning to you all. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much for kindly saying that, Gabriel Olmo Orbas. Again, if you haven't, please do take a second to like the video. The more you like the video, the more people will be able to reach, and the more people would have here, and the more fun the show will be. We already have 30 likes. Let's shoot for 400 likes today. I know we can do that, but it will not be possible without you willingness to keep liking the video to help us get there. Says, I wish my darling club and the team and the coaching staff plus the co-owner all the best this season. Inshallah, CFC will prosper and they will surprise the enemies. And that's the truth. Again, I think they're showing signs. I think already we've actually have, you could say overall, our transfer activities are so far, you could argue 7 out of 10, just a few more, about 2 signings, one in the midfield, maybe in the attacking area. I'd give them 10 over 10. Again, but I like your comment there. Up Chelsea, and good morning to all. Chelsea boy, good morning to you too. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know. Do we need Aubameyang in Chelsea FC? I do think we need Aubameyang at Chelsea FC. Again, some people think otherwise. He's a fine finisher, and his record at the Premier League, in the Premier League, is something else. Again, he won the Golden Boot once, and then there's 2 consecutive seasons where he scored 22 goals. I think his numbers started dropping when Mikel Arteta took over the club, which to me, if you ask me, I'd argue the reason why his numbers started dropping is probably how Mikel Arteta likes to approach the game. Some argue against him coming to Chelsea because of his what they argue will be his behavior. But the Tuchel have always spoken highly of the player. You know how they're still in good terms Plus, he did well under Thomas Tuchel, and he showed the best form of his life under Thomas Tuchel. So yeah, and we've seen what happens when Thomas Tuchel has players he's worked with before. He had Thiago Silva, and see how well he did under him and what we were able to achieve. So please bring on Aubameyang. Liam Lane says, please like and subscribe if you have not. It will be a big help to the channel. Yes, that's very well written. Please, 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 please show your support to Chelsea Perspective. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things do go a long way. So thank you very much for that. Anyone read Drubber's Insta story? Tell us more about it. I haven't read it. That's why we're here. We educate on each other and what's going on there. Get the Jong and Rice next year as a pairing. I think those two, you could argue, will be lacking something. I don't think, if I were the manager, I wouldn't pair the both players for reasons best known to me. But we'll get into that argument in another day. Up Chelsea, we need a perfect forward and not an older player like Ronaldo. Samko from Nigeria. Nice to see you here, my Niger brother. I get your argument, but some people think otherwise. Chelsea should go for Osimhen from Napoli of Broya plus cash for him. I don't think so. I think, yes. Here's the thing. What I'm going to tell you. Sorry to disappoint you. Broya, I think it's more technically gifted and more how do I phrase it? More versatile, because he can play on the flanks, left, right, and centrally. And I think he's actually, again, they're both powerful players, but I wouldn't suggest to see him come to Chelsea Football Club, because Thomas Tuchel, he will frustrate the life out of him, given his history with what you can call defined or out-and-out strikers, which the argument does. I think Osimhen is a traditional striker, by the way. But maybe because he's still young, there's a chance he adapts. But I wouldn't advise the player to come to Chelsea Football Club for obvious reason. De Paul is a key midfielder for Argentina who plays for Atletico. He had a fantastic Copa America, and his end product and creativity from midfield is top-notch. Yes, we seek creativity in the midfield area because the numbers of our midfield in terms of our overall goals contribution, assist and whatever, I think it has not been anything to write home about. It's been awful. The numbers have been, disgraceful, if you ask me. Again, they don't contribute much to goals and assists and all that. But that's, by the way, we are also eyeing Celtic fullback Josip Juranovic. I saw that myself. But how serious is that rumor? I do not know, honestly. Again, it says, Batshuayi, Kennedy, and Drinkwater become a permanent part of the club. Is any club even interested in them? Drinkwater, he's left for long now. Batshuayi, I heard, is in talks to, is it Everton or what club? I'm not sure where the status of those players are at this point. Maybe I'd have to do a little more research to find out. But Sarr has joined Monaco on a loan deal with an option for them to buy him. Who again has left? I'm not sure who's left and who's still there. I think some of them, we heard Everton wanted them, but the rumors died down, especially, what's his name, Barkley himself and all that, but I'm not sure what's going on. 80 million on Fofana is overpriced. We can spend that money on Lacrosse or Tapsoba. Okay, again, we know the club, you could say the club is going after Fofana because the manager wants him. Because we've heard from the new owners that they're not going to go for any player except if the manager wants a player. So I'm not going to question why they're willing to pay that much money for obvious reason. Point number one is if the manager wants him, get the player for the manager. And point number two is this. We will most definitely overpay for players this window, especially if we're talking about defensive targets. Why do I say that? Again, we found ourselves in this situation because we were under restrictions and we were not allowed to get players to put pen to paper. The concern of everybody aligned to the club or with the club or everybody that cares about the club then was to make sure the club didn't go down. And because we were really concerned, the sanctions on the previous owner, the restrictions on the club that that deterred us from negotiating with players and getting them to put pen to paper. Those things, didn't help matters. So, and we lost two defenders, two senior defenders on a free. So clubs know we're desperate. And yes, we're truly desperate. So when we come to them, they know they can get even nearly twice as much as the money they would have gotten from us under normal circumstances. So it's not anybody's fault. And Lee, how are you doing, Lee? I hope you're doing well. Today, Lee, I have my phone in my pocket and I will pocket time you out. But that's by the way, brother Lee, I hope you're doing well, my bro. Nice to see you joining us. You're probably at work and listening. That's good to see. Again, if you're watching, 38 likes already. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes today. We can do that. We've broken the 300 likes record. So let's keep shooting for 400 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video. Drinkwater's contract ended. As for the other two, we don't know yet. Drinkwater actually also sent a very heartfelt a farewell message to Chelsea, and he was very sincere at how it didn't work out, how that pains him. But that's, by the way, I am on my PC today and not on the phone, so there will be no pocket blocks or timeouts. Yeah, bro, I hope you're doing well. I understand what's going on. Instagram, how am I going to see that? Tobago, see if you can get the Drogba story if you can. If not, I'll try to do that myself. As long as we are not getting an overpriced striker, I am good. Aubameyang would be, an idol will be an ideal for now. Doesn't look like it, but he will get us goals. Surely he's proven that he can do it in the Premier League. Says good morning, coach, panel and chat. It's kind of nice to see you again. I don't think Chelsea will buy any more players. You're not telling yourself the truth if you think so. Even before Cucurella came in, joined us, people were saying that we're done. No, we're not done. This will not be the first time that we'll be even 2-3 games into the season and new players will still be coming in. It has happened before. And again, I think that would be the case this time because Tuchel is seriously, he seriously wants to rebuild the team, which means we'd still be going for players even as the season progresses. Says Batman is going to Wolves. Oh, okay. But we haven't heard much about that story for quite some time. That's why I'm asking the question, what's going on there? Morning, Blues, Chiller, panelists, and chat. Let's hope we get good news again as soon. I think we will. I wouldn't be surprised if we sign even 4 more players as the season progresses, as long as the transfer window is still open. Again, Economics, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us. Dr. Raj Mahal says, no signings expected prior to Tottenham match. Chelsea is still negotiating with the club and players. Yes, even if we're able to bring them in before that time, I don't think any of them will start. It's as simple as that. I don't think we need a classic striker. Yes, we don't. Obviously, not under Thomas Tuchel, to be specific. Remember, Chelsea was ordered to suspend footballing activities, which includes player negotiations and contract renewals. Thank you very much. I think that's the first delicious comment of the day. We must bring that factor that into our judgment of whether the club has, if the club has done well in the transfer market or not. Good morning, Kachila and the chat. Chelsea all the way. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And Vignesh, go and sign CR7. I don't think that will happen. If we're serious, if the rumors, if what we heard then were the truth, again, let's be honest about that. We're hearing that Borley wants him, but Thomas Tuchel doesn't want him. So that changes our whole everything. So I don't think he's coming to us. Hi, says NS Sports TV. Hi to you too, brother. I hope you're doing it well. Let me see. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. TT was asked if he was unhappy at Chelsea. He said no, but misses a check big time. You understand? So again, something happened there that we didn't know exactly what it was. Declared, big up everyone. Big up to you too, brother. I hope you're doing it well. Thank you so much for finding time to join. My lovely Chelsea family, hello, fam. If we go to sign Zaha, who would you drop in the front at 3? Kai or Mount? There's already space for Zaha because Timo Werner is leaving. Barcelona and Chelsea are close to agreeing a deal for De Jong via Dario Sports. Okay, we'll see 42 likes for 155 viewers. Come on, people, step it up, people, step it up. You heard that from Declan. We should be doing better than that. We have 179 people watching and we have just 44 likes. We can do better than that. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes, people, so keep liking the video. Hi, Declan. Again, let me see Darius Sports. Let me see anything else. And I'll come to the panel to my brother, Frenkie, as Manchester United fan. You think, okay, good luck about that. We'll see what happens. If it happens, I wouldn't be surprised either because I've seen worse in this transfer window. Now, coming to you, Tobago, your thoughts on, you have any update for us or you want to talk about anything to how you feel about the transfer window? I always like to start it with that. You still feel confident more players will come in? If who, what player do you think will still come in?
To be honest, from my side, more players will come because we're about to sell a lot of players. So we need replacement for them. And again, I will never gonna be on a panic bus because our club
Rodrigo is not gonna be happy with you.
Yes, our club was sanctioned, and we are far behind from negotiating with players and other clubs. So I'm still patient. Something will happen eventually. There's no way we are not gonna replace Timo Werner, and then like we are seeing links of Ziyech want to go. If he's going, we need a replacement for him also. So man, we just need to chill as Chelsea fans, and then wait for the statement at the Chelsea Twitter page or Chelsea app. We should just be patient. This thing of being worried a lot of time is annoying sometimes.
It is annoying indeed, and it is mentally draining, to say the least. Again, it can get you sick. So that's why I've always advised people, to be careful what you read and what you believe, what you suck up, because there are a lot of conflicting reports out there. Some of them are absolute nonsense. Some had some measure of substance to it. But my advice has always been to, group them, dump them into a single bucket, classify them as rumors or speculations if you prefer, then you will live long. I saw your comment regarding the Young to Chelsea. That's one. What I want to ask you, are you confident? Do you think it's going to come to us?
To be honest, from my side, Frenkie de Jong, from my side, I have a 50%. Go back again. sorry about it. 50% about Frenkie de Jong. 50% he must stay at Barcelona. 50% he'll go to Chelsea, because Frenkie de Jong made it clear that he wants to stay at Barcelona. So now,
but there's an argument for that. The reason may well be they owe him 17 million plus. Would you just stand up and leave a club without you not having a guarantee that you're getting your hard-earned cash? That's they owe you that much money. You're not just going to stand up and leave. But go ahead with what you're saying.
And yes, I've just heard something yesterday about Laporte. Laporte is a politician, and then that's why he's saying a lot of things that are confusing. For example, in the media, will say Frenkie de Jong wants to stay at Barcelona, and then at closed doors, he's telling people that I want Frenkie de Jong to go if he's not taking his wages, wage card and stuff. So clearly, sometimes we should stop listening to that guy, because it's confusing a lot of fans, and then they're angry and stuff. But again, if Frenkie de Jong stays at Barcelona, I won't be mad, because Barcelona owe him. Also, he feels like Barcelona is building a squad that will be successful, winning trophies and stuff. So again, I won't be mad. But hopefully we convince him we come to Chelsea. That's what we want as Chelsea fans.
I think let's start looking at it. I think it's a difficult situation. There's no telling what's going to happen. The story is everywhere. I think let's just start looking at it properly. I have to be honest, I'm a bit confused. I cannot say for certain this is what I think it's going to happen. In most cases, you look at information you have out there. Look from the right, then you'd be able to say, okay, this is what I think will happen. But in this case, there's no guarantee on what will happen. Let's look at them. Let's start with this one. This is not. I don't want to start with that story. We'll look at that one later. Look at this. What this is saying here. Again, this is a player I really want at Chelsea, but right now there's no telling what's going to happen. You look at some stories, you say, okay, there's hope. Maybe he's going to come to us, and there's no even guarantee that he's not going to Manchester United. Let's be honest there. We're not sure what's going to happen. It says from the players' environment, they have assured to Mundo Deportivo that Frenkie is mentally very strong and very positive, eager to start the season and help the team to win titles. Likewise, they also highlight that the relationship with Xavi Hernandez is very good. And this is yesterday, and that's yesterday around, again, it's just yesterday. So that to me means I think it's conflicting. That's all the reports. Okay, let's see what else we have here. This is Romero saying, and this was yesterday too, the same period. I think it's nearly the same time, 11 p.m. my time. And this was also 1:59 p.m. That's around an hour, 40 minutes later. And it says, Romero says Chelsea will be presenting an offer of 63 to 12 million or 67 plus 8 million. So both a total of 75 million. So I think there's one more thing here. So this is just someone else saying, what's it? I'm not sure who this guy is. It says Mauricio Panini. I'm not sure who that is. It says Frenkie de Jong has said yes to Chelsea. There's no way to confirm these rumors, but given how conflicting the reports out there are, what do you think? You can't say for sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, I agree, but I've managed to, even though that guy talks Spanish sometimes, but I've heard someone who also always translate what he's saying about Frenkie de Jong. Like a few days ago, and even yesterday, he said, if Frenkie de Jong won't stay at Barcelona, just put your heads up. In next coming days, you'll hear very noise. Like a lot of noise from Chelsea news outlets that Frenkie de Jong to Chelsea is close or is possible. Just watch out on that. And Gerard Moreno, sometimes you might say like, oh, this guy is always doing funny things at Twitch and stuff. But again, when it comes to Barcelona, he's so good, but sometimes it's confusing. But again, he said the deal to go to Barcelona was right. Rafinha, Lewandowski, and then people were saying no, they won't go there. He said he's going there. So it is confusing. So we'll wait and see what is going to happen. But again, as I said, as Chelsea fans, we need a player like Frenkie de Jong. So hopefully, Chelsea will be able to persuade him to come. Also, if he's able to come to Chelsea, because we can't say like persuade him to come, but again, he wants to stay at Barcelona. So it's this news, man. It's confusing, to be honest.
Yeah, there's no telling what will happen. And in a bit, I will ask those in the chat to get their opinion, but let me try and catch up with the chat because this is an interactive show. And again, I think we carry the fans along, and so we must do that now. And Abhinav says, don't trust any of the younger news for 2 days. Only after that, we'll probably hear about a solid news on his future. I think I agree with that. There's no telling what is going to happen. Says Abhinav, okay. Speaking, I think Hindu, correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard Mount might not get offered a new contract. Liverpool and Man City want the player. I haven't heard that, and I'm not going to go into that yet. If that doesn't happen, then I'm really concerned what is going on there. And here, the Undertaker, okay, just responding to what the Undertaker said there, says 40%. It's like, okay, Chelsea 79 says 40% are confident that the Young would join us. Okay, that's you're not sure yet. Switcon says, what about Fofana? We'll get into that a bit. We'll discuss whatever we'll see out there. Declan Rice is better option than FDJ. I disagree with you. Again, that's me, but you're free to tell us why you think that's the case. And I have to be honest with you, I don't think that's really the case. but you have every right to present your opinion. The Love who says the Young has has what none of our midfielders have, which is an eye of a proper defense, splitting passes. I think I've seen enough of that myself. I'd have to agree with you. Again, he's quick, more physical than Jorginho. Like some people think he's more in the mold of Kovacic than Jorginho, but I think he's more in the mold of Jorginho because he can actually control the tempo of the game if he wants on the state. He can be a box-to-box midfielder for you. He can be disciplined if you want him to fulfill the DM role. Plus, he's able to play in the defensive area as a centre-back, which he did for Barcelona when they had injury issues in that area, and he fulfilled the role quite well. Let me see what we have here. According to London Words, Rahman Usman, Crystal Palace are willing to swap Cho with Wilfred Zaha. Do I think we should do that? I would say no. As much as I want us to get Wilfred Zaha, I wouldn't for any reason. I agree for a swap deal that involves Callum Hudson-Odoi because I think he has the potential to do even better than Wilfred Zaha in the future. But that's why when he's younger too. At the moment, I feel like Gallagher can come. That Gallagher can come in if Kante is out. Nope. Yes, I think I understand where your argument is coming from. In the sense that Gallagher, his energy isn't, you could say unrivaled in the team right now. Even Mason Mount doesn't run as much as Gallagher runs. His pressing is out of this world. But here's the thing, how about, as a number 6? Because if you're saying coming in for Kante, which means you're talking about Gallagher executing the number 6 role, here's the problem there. I think, first of all, you should have that acumen, or should I say the IQ to be able to read games, break up opposition play, be in the right place in the right time to stop opposition, be able to read passing lanes and cut them off. Yes, Gallagher can put in some good tackles, but does that mean he can read the game and then anticipate what the opposition team are going to do next? I don't think he's able to do that at this point. That is something I think he still has to learn. So I hope you understand my point. Well, what I explained there. So I wouldn't. Gallagher for me should play further forward in a number 8 position. He's shown that is if we're still playing with the 3 at the back system, and if we switch to 4 at the back system and play like 4-3-3, him being on the flanks as a right wing or left wing, he'd be able to get us goal because he gets in the box. He has that vision to always get in the box whenever his team makes a good move towards the opposition. Towards the final third, he's always available in the box, but it depends on where you deploy him. So I think I'd rather play Gallagher as number 8. If we keep playing him as a 6, that's a chance he fizzles out of the team and you will never see him again. It is as simple as that. And Economics says, let's face it, players be feeling for Barca this window as they sign trophies era coming back. FDJ, well, Dembele, I'm thinking so too, but it's worth, attempting it. Let's not take it too seriously. Here's why. Again, if you look at it, you see the possibility of him remaining at the club, like you mentioned here in the comment, because they sense an era where they'd win or maybe dominate the Spanish league and even the European football because they've signed quite a lot of good players. But one point I must point out. I still don't trust Xavi tactically, but that's another argument for another day. But here's something you mentioned. Here's something again you must look at. He's been scapegoated. He's been practically framing him for getting involved in a fraudulent, process for his contract that he signed. So they practically denting his name. And I've read all the stories out there that he's suing them. So with that in mind, there's a chance he decides, you know what, I'm done. Why would I stay here? Why would I stay here when people, when the club practically are framing me for getting involved in a fraudulent activity to get a bigger contract and so on and so forth. So like Tobago did mention a few minutes ago, it's all politics for them. They have elections too, so politics involved. You want to make the other guy look bad. So, but in that process, they've involved in the name of Frenkie de Jong, which means you could face criminal charges given what they've said he's done. But that's, by the way, again, I'm going to move on from that. FDJ will still be a Barca player, not just this season, but next season as well. But if you look at what's going on, they're scapegoating him, they're framing him for something I don't think he did. Would they like that? I don't think he would. Barcelona wants de Jong out. That's another thing we're hearing. And it sounds the same. Even the fans, they booed him during the presentation when they were presenting the squad for the season. They booed him. So that's something you have to look at. And that's why I'm saying I'm not sure what's really going to happen with Frenkie. I am backstage coach. Oh, okay, I haven't seen you. Did I send you the link already? Okay, you went. Okay, let me send you the link in a bit so that we can get your opinion here. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I think you're in the wrong. That's the wrong link actually. Chelsea are not done yet. Bowley and TT cooking. Karma too. I believe we're still signing a lot of more players, like at least even four more players. There's a chance that happens because we're hearing Thomas Tuchel wants to clear out his attacking area and bring in players that he can trust, and I'm all for that because I don't want to see a situation we go into a season, then there's still argument whether a player is being played out of position or a player is being, hasn't gotten enough game time and all that, and all the complaints. A player plays badly when you play them in certain position. I want that to end as soon as possible. And Chelsea gonna pay 80 million for him. Again, that's another argument that Chelsea should give the Young a deadline. If he doesn't make up his mind, we look for another alternative. It's not that simple. It's a very, very first visual. It's a very, very complicated situation, even from the player's own perspective or from the club's perspective. It's not that simple. I think people really need to watch the Young more. His vision and end product is not so impressive, at least not for the absurd amount of wages he will want. Again, it all comes down to what the manager wants, even if you think it's not that good. The most important thing is what the manager wants and not what we think. We must consider that. Mr. Troublemaker says, since we are linked with the Young, I just find we need a creative midfielder like the Young De Bruyne to play at the strength of the strikers, at the forwards maybe. Maybe I get your argument there. And Khalid Abdul says, hi guys, hi to you too. I hope you're doing well. I really don't like Chelsea going for Zaha. Again, if the manager wants him, we cannot argue against that. Declan Rice and FDJ both can join to replace Kante in Jorginho. I think Kante will stay at Chelsea for a while. Even, again, Kante, who's now full of feet, again, he's a big game player, and that has been proven. I don't think the club will let him go. Plus, Kante is an exemplary professional. Anthony Taylor is the referee for our upcoming game. Mike Dean will be the VAR, so you're really concerned. No. But for me, I'm not concerned. We can now be... Yeah, go ahead. You wanted to say something.
I'm not concerned too about the referees. As long as they're doing their job, I don't care about them. But we need to play our game. That's it.
Yeah, if you score enough goals and play well enough to win, that is the referee and the VAR officials' incompetence would have to be, that's on another level for you not to win. If you do enough to win, even with the referee's incompetence, you win. So, but that's, by the way, again, let me see what's going on here. Again, Tobago, your thoughts. There's a question I wanted you to answer for me. Just give me a second. Let me catch up with the chat so we know it's not too long. Again, and Maxwell Machiavelli says, if a winger comes in, Callum Hudson-Odoi will leave 100%. There's another thing. Callum Hudson-Odoi leaving isn't that simple. We are, required to have a certain measure of homegrown quota, and he counts for that. So I don't see a situation where if we're not sure of how to make up that number, from a player who would be as good as Callum Hudson-Odoi or even better, I don't see us letting him go. So that's, by the way, Louis Rivera, if you're in the chat, send me a message via your Twitter account so that I can, send you the link to the show. Oh, okay, okay. I've seen you. I've seen you. Sorry, I wasn't yesterday's link. There you go. You have the link now. I've sent it to you. So thank you very much for finding the time. Hopefully, you join us in a bit. Again, says Chelsea wanted to know Leicester City's stance before making a third bid for Fofana. According to CBS Sports, Leicester City won 85 million, and Chelsea are ready to pay that. If Chelsea are really ready to pay that much money, I think they'd let him go. Just show them the money and then let the player go. It's as simple as that. But it doesn't look like we haven't shown. Again, I don't think the issue. I don't see anything that really tells me that Leicester City aren't willing to sell the player. They want to sell him. Just give them enough money, and they know. And since they've already heard that Chelsea are willing to meet their asking price, why take 80? If I was, I'd wait for Chelsea to give me the 85 million. And plus, we're desperate, but I'm hearing now that Chelsea have also turned back their attention to Milan Skriniar, but we get to that in a bit. Louis Rivera, welcome to the panel. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, my guy. Super excited to be here, and I've loved the show ever since you guys started it. You see me in the chat all the time, so it's an absolute honor. Thank you, Coach.
No, more thanks to you. More thanks to you. Just
welcome.
yeah, you're welcome. Just increase your mic a bit. Plus, you've always been fighting in the chat. Now you've brought your fight to the panel. I hope you fight well today. Okay, again, that's by the way. I'm going to quickly bring you Louis. But before I do that, well, we have 199 people watching, and we have 72 likes already. Just 28 more to get to 100. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes a day, and that is very possible only if you believe we can do that. Louis, I want to get your thoughts. What do you think about the Frenkie de Jong, story overall?
I mean, my brother's a trader. He's a Barcelona fan, right? And I get to watch Frenkie a lot of the time. Frenkie is magnificent at times, and at other times, he doesn't really stand out as much. Now we're looking at a possible replacement for Jorginho or Conte. I don't know if I would go that far. Frenkie de Jong is great. He's young, but my first biggest issue with this whole saga is Barcelona. They've been a thorn in our side this whole transfer window, right? There's rumors that they'll have to activate levers in order to register their players. Do we really want to help Barcelona and give them 60, 70, however much they want in order to help
Probably
them
a lot more.
window? Yeah, probably a lot more. But the last thing I would say about Frenkie is listen, Jorginho is in 126 appearances, he has 5 assists. Frenkie has 4 assists in 2021, 2022 alone. And I think it's unfair, even that statistic, because you get a sense that Georgie is he's so vital to the mindset that we have. And Frenkie, I'm not sure if we absolutely need him in the squad. He would be nice. It would be nice to have him, but is he 100%? We have to spend 70 mil on this guy because he's young and because he reminds us of the past and he can hold up possession and this. I don't think he's an absolute need. I think right now, I think right now we need to focus on other things.
But you agree that at least he'd do better than the players we currently have, because the numbers in terms of assists, you did mention it yourself. How many 5 assists in 100 plus games for Jorginho? It's not acceptable for a midfielder who there's hardly a game. Yeah, he plays deep, but in most cases he comes closer to the final third and doesn't have that much assist. So I think you can agree that he'd be better than what we have. But the question I want to have you is this. I read something from Liam Lane here, which reads, again, I find it very hard to believe that Frenkie is happy to stay at Barcelona. How would you be so disrespected and still be happy? I don't think he's happy. Like I've argued, there's a chance he's reluctant to leave because he's not guaranteed to get the salary they owe him back. And now we're hearing something that we haven't heard before. That the process, of the contract he signed that it was fraudulent, which means he's being blamed. He's being accused of that too. And we're hearing that he's planning on suing the club. And during the presentation of the squad for the 2022-2023 season, he was booed. Would you still agree that he's happy, he's in high spirit, his relationship with Xavi and all that nonsense, that he still wants to help the club? Yeah, Rivera, that's for you.
I mean, here's the thing. Whatever's going on behind the scenes, as far as Chelsea goes, I don't think it's something that we should really focus on, right? That's business between Frenkie and Barcelona. If Barcelona and especially the fans are treating Frenkie like that, then, I mean, for the most part, it should be clear as day what he should do moving forward, right? And if I think you don't turn down a very recent Champions League a winner like Chelsea. I don't think you look at Chelsea as a whole as Frenkie de Jong and say, if I go there, I won't be loved there. Barcelona brings their own I guess vibe, right? Everybody knows Barcelona, but we're not that much behind. You know what I'm saying? The world knows who Chelsea are. They know our supporters. But as far as the rumors flying back and forth, that doesn't concern me as much. As far as the statistics and the business side of things, I think we need to be smarter. 65 mil, 75 mil for Frenkie de Jong. I mean, it
probably be more, because United already did bid how much again? 85 million.
Well, here's the thing, Coach, if you would allow me, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
We give a lot of flack to Jorginho. A lot of people, have we forgotten that this guy was third in the Ballon d'Or voting? That he was in the discussion? Is Frenkie de Jong ever in his whole career, 10 years, 15 years from now, is he gonna be there? Like, let's not forget that the players that we have are perfect for our system. And just a year ago, we won the Champions League, and we've won trophies. So again, do we need to spend 70 mil, 75 mil on Frenkie de Jong? Is it an absolute must? Do we have other players upcoming and emerging? Do we have a good academy? Yes. The only reason we're sitting here saying Frenkie de Jong is a must-have player is because he's gotten time from Ajax. He's gotten time to play from Barcelona. I'm pretty sure if we give Conor Gallagher a chance to play our Hudson-Odoi, there's a reason Bayern is always eyeing Odoi. There's a reason why teams across Europe are asking us about Conor Gallagher. Give these lads a chance to play, and hopefully in 3-4 years, people are going to say, other teams are going to say, hey, Conor Gallagher is worth 65. Let's go out and get him. So do we absolutely need Frenkie de Jong? Not really, in my opinion. Would it be nice to have him? Absolutely. But I'm not trying to help Barcelona, to be absolutely honest with you. And I don't think he's a need. I think he'd be nice. But yeah, that's just me, Coach.
I get your point. Again, before we move on and start, taking the topics we have one by one, I haven't gotten your opinion. You've always been in the chat. So today you're on the panel. I want to find out whether you're on the panic bus or not. Your thoughts on how everything, the transfer market so far. Again, are you happy with it, or you still have concerns?
We got a really good player in Koulibaly. I wish we got him a couple years ago when he wanted to come. We got Raheem Sterling. He's already showing that he's going to be an amazing player. He has experience, and honestly, if you ask me, we got him for the cheap, on the cheaper side. Do I agree with Cucurella at 63 million when he's most likely going to be a backup this season, or buying?
I disagree with that one. It's not going to be a backup. It's looking more like Chilwell is in trouble for me, if you ask me. But go ahead.
It's competition. Chilwell is.
It's competition, yeah.
It's competition, but.
And here's another reason why I think he's not going to be a backup. He's able to play in the left center back position. So he most likely, in most cases, being in the team than Chilwell will. And he starts the season, he's going to play more games. That's during from the first to around the 10th game than Chilwell will. Because Chilwell looks like, again, he hasn't recovered fully in terms of, how do I phrase it, his feet. But something is still missing. Let me just put it that way. But go ahead, brother.
Well, I mean, listen, I can agree with you, especially with Alonso leaving. Cucurella could play at the left with Chilwell at the left with him. It remains to be seen. We don't know what's going to happen with Fofana. We don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the transfer market. So it remains to be seen. But coach, 63 million for Cucurella. That's my thing. But am I happy with the transfer? With the transfer so far? I would say yes. I'm happy with the transfer so far. We've spent upwards of close to 150 million. That's a lot of money, coach.
Yeah, but you have to understand, we find ourselves in a situation where we there's nothing we can do but overpay, especially as the transfer window winds down. It gets worse. We're desperate, and clubs know we're desperate, which, the desperation, it didn't happen by design. It didn't happen. It wasn't like it's something we brought on ourselves. Circumstances forced it on us. So we'd have to overpay. But the good thing is, overall, for me, we're getting players that fit the profile, that will fit into the manager's project. But from a financial perspective, yes, I think we're overpaying, and it's looking like it's going to happen again, actually. But go ahead, finish your thoughts. Let me catch up with the chat, and we'll move on with the topics we have lined up.
I was just going to say, Coach, the reason why teams know that we're desperate is because we got signings like Lukaku last year. 100 million, come on, we know that wasn't right? Even if he was going to be this great player for us. Wesley Fofana, we put in 2 bids so far, right? One for 70, another for this much. What's going to happen? Teams know, they're looking at us and they're seeing the trends and how we do business, and they know we're relentless. And we need to be very careful going forward not to build a reputation where we're that team that they can just deny a bid and we come back and we up the bid by 5 million, by 10 million, by 20 million. We can't be that team, Coach. So as much as we sit here and we say, yeah, we're overpaying, but it's not our fault, it kind of is our fault, right? Because if we got these contracts the way, the way we're supposed to get them, and we're looking in the market and scouting and doing all this, then we wouldn't be desperate. We would be okay with where we're at. So we need to be very careful about the reputation that we're building around the world, because I don't want to be that squad that you can overcharge us 40 million for a player who's already past his prime or getting close to past his prime, and other teams are just rubbing their hands together, laughing in their back room, knowing that they're going to get money from us. I don't want to.
I get your argument. You can't argue we're setting a dangerous precedent here.
I have a question.
Sorry?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for my guy. I don't see his name there, but again, how much should have Chelsea paid for Marco Corella?
There's no again, you can't put a value on it. The most important thing is that we got a good player. We got a good player who we learned from Gopo had nearly or a little above 500 balls into the box, but the Brighton attackers were awful. Tell me, I think he had more balls in the box than Kevin De Bruyne, according to Gopo. Now tell me any Chelsea player who came close to that number, not even half the number. That's to show you there's value to it. You have to imagine, why did Man City want him? And actually, Brighton refused to sell to Man City at the price that they were ready to pay. I think they were ready to pay something near 50 million. Because Brighton understood, they know the value of the player, they didn't want to sell him. So we went in, we understood, we saw him, we scouted him, we probably looked at his statistics and said, wow, this is the player we need. And he's not the type to also shy away from taking on players. He's not the type to opt for the easy way out in situations where if he has opposition players on him. If you see the 10 minutes or the first 10 minutes he played when he came on, you should see his intelligence as a player, I was marveled. I was saying to myself, that's money well spent. It's not like other players in the team. Whereas if the opposition players, block the passing lanes closer, that's more closer to him, they put the ball forward just to get it out, just to get it over with. But to him, even when you're on him, he finds the passing lanes where you, the viewer, even though you're seeing the pitch wider than him, you wouldn't anticipate he'd find his teammate like nearly the other end of the pitch and on the carpet too. And he adds so much pace to his passes that before you make a move, stop it from reaching its intended destination, it's too late. That's how good he is. So I'm not really concerned about how much we paid for the player.
Same here, same. No, I just want to rectify like this thing of saying like, oh, we overpaid that fee. Cucurella should have been less than that. Come on. Cucurella is a proven Premier League player. I know, yes, he had one season. But again, those days you were talking about, that shows we signed a quality player. And then even that 10 minutes it displayed against Everton, it shows we signed the right fit for our squad. So we should just be patient. And then sometimes in football, if you overpaid a price for a player and then he performs well, then we forget about the price. And then that's why we look out, we complain because we paid 100. But if you were paying goals, we didn't have talking about this. That 100 million fee. So that's football. Sometimes you need just to overpay in order to get your man. Because if you don't overpay, Brighton will say no, it's not for sale. He will stay there. We start different Alonso and Emerson. And when Chilwell get injured, we're having the same problem again. Crying all at social media, say, oh, Chelsea didn't replace Alonso. Cucurella is a good player. I don't care how much Chelsea paid. At the end of the day, it's not our money.
I'm not, guys, gentlemen, I'll be
ahead.
honest with you. I'm not disagreeing with you guys. I think Cucurella is a fantastic player. I wanted him even before the rumors for Man City started. My point is going back to reputation, right? We spent 63 on Cucurella. I'm sure that Cucurella is going to make me eat my words, right? All I'm saying is when the rumors started for Cucurella to go to Man City, it was around 35 mil. Out of nowhere, over the course of the year, it's 50 mil now. And here we come as Chelsea, we snag him for 63. Is he worth 63? Maybe. I'm pretty sure he's going to make me eat my words. But what happens if we negotiate it for 50, right? Then
we don't have that luxury. We don't have that time. And again, Cucurella is actually a priority over all the players we want in the team because Chilwell isn't ready. We're losing Alonso. Emerson Palmieri will probably leave. Kennedy will not sure staying. So Cucurella is a priority over every other transfer players we've been looking at because we don't, that area will lack players.
I'm not saying he's not, Coach. What I'm saying is if we could have saved...
You're talking about the president being set, right?
Exactly.
But here's the thing. We don't have the luxury to do otherwise. And one thing I want to let you know, forget about the president you think being set. I think the club, Todd Boehly did not become a billionaire by being dumb. He's a smart man. You know that. Now, we're also, as we're signing players who fit into the first team, we're at the same time going for future, that is going for younger generation. We're looking at an Inter Milan player. We're looking at, what's the other Brazilian youngster? We signed Chukwuemeka. We signed Hutchinson from Arsenal. We signed Slonina. So I don't think even if we overpay for players now, it will cause us problems in the future. No, it is happening for obvious reasons. Well, especially if you're talking about defensive reinforcement, where clubs are well aware that we lost two big-name defenders and we're lacking in that area. And we have Thiago Silva, who's nearing 40. That's why it is like that. And I'm glad the club just joined us. The club was one of the first people that said, we will get players in, but we'll probably end up overpaying. And we can't do otherwise. Yes, go ahead.
We don't need backups. We don't need backups.
Go ahead, Tobago.
We don't need backups. Like we've been hearing this on our fan base. Oh, we need a backup for Chilwell. We don't need backups. We need players that are fit to compete with Chilwell or either play in the team so that our team will be wonderful. That's it.
Yeah, let me quickly. I want to welcome Declad to the panel, but quickly, I want to try and see how much of the comments, of the contributions in the chat that I can get, and I'll come back, get Declad's start. Believe me, Louis, to say it again, I understand your concern, but I don't think that will be a concern. I think we're making plans for the future. I think by the time you know it, these things are like as they are now, we're overpaying because they want to start on the right foot, and they want to start well. Then as things, as you will see, they will start to spend less and less, and we'll find ourselves in a situation whereby most of the players we have in the team will most likely, less than 50% will be from the academy, because we're talking about guys that are profit focused. And believe me, they just want to start well, and because you can say they have a leeway now, they're allowed to spend certain amount of money without even, infringing the FFP rules. But that's, by the way, I'm going to try and see how much I can catch up with. Abiola Abiodun says, hello, everyone. I think we need players we can pass, that we need, I tried to make sense of that one, but maybe you made a mistake when you were typing it. This is a response to Phantom. These are people having conversation. The chat is on fire. I'm not sure. Wilf, really? Yeah, Wilfred Zaha, if he comes, I take him anytime, any day over, some players we have at the club right now because he's done better than them. 14 goals this past season. Which of our players did exactly that in the Premier League alone? But that's, by the way, Newcastle have asked Chelsea about the availability of 4 players, Cho, Broya, Gallagher, and Pulisic. According to Athletic, maybe they should even add Thiago Silva to it. They want every player from Chelsea. Good day, coach and panel. I am concerned about our system and goals. I really don't see our attack making runs behind the opposition defense. Kai Havertz is not a striker. We wouldn't get a penalties every game. Kai is the number 8, number 10. Again, I'd rather play him on the flanks than play him as number 9. But I think he's been doing that because we had no options, But because he's able to fulfill that role to an acceptable measure, you often find him there. It's not like I think the manager himself knows fully well that Kai is not a number 9. Again, we need just 11 more likes to get to 100 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes, so keep liking the video, guys. And here, Phantom of Many 85 million. Let us pass on Fofana and get Declan Rice, a Chelsea Academy product. Yeah, that's what you think. To me, I'd rather take Fofana than Declan Rice. I have to be honest with you. Barca is one toxic club. It's unethical and selfish. Selfish, maybe. Unethical, yes, you could argue that too. What we're hearing, I don't think they really do care about the players. Now, it sounded more like they want to frame, they're accusing, the Young of involving in a fraudulent contract, and all that. But I don't want to get into that. Donna Raymond said, how on earth do we have to pay over 85 million for a player that had ACL injury? Any little injury next would be the end. Heck no, we cannot waste such money on him. Again, I think you're talking about Fofana. Did he have an? Okay,
No, he didn't. So that goes to show how much some people don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he had an ACL injury. I don't think so. Did he really? No, right?
No, he had a break. We kind of discussed this.
Yeah, again, with this at length actually. I get your concern, but it wasn't an ACL that he had. We will get Dembele. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. But it's 50-50. If you see it from the other way, if you were Frenkie de Jong and you're being accused of getting involved in a fraudulent activity, would you still play for the club? And you get booed during the presentation of the 2022-2023 squad. Would you still stay there? I think they want him out. But I don't want to get into that. But I'm going to come back to Declad. Declad, before we move on, let us know again. Apologies to everyone in the chat. I've seen the queen of the house. The captain is there. Chelsea OG, Kimso, and everyone else. I will scroll, the moment we switch topic, I will scroll to the bottom so that whatever I'm reading will be aligned with the current topic we're discussing, so we don't keep going back and forth, back and forth. If we do that, it can be mentally exhausting because the brain gets confused too, and they're asking question, what the heck are you doing to me? Again, 95 likes, 5 more to get to 100. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes today, but we can only get there if you help us. And we have 154 people who have participated already in the poll. So if you have 154 people participate in the poll, we should have nearly the same number in terms of likes. So please, if you took a second to participate in the poll, do the same for the likes to help us get there as soon as possible. Let's break that record. So Declan, your thoughts on the Frenkie de Jong situation. What do you think will happen? Do you think we'll be Dembele again? Do you think he'd come to us? What should we believe? Romero is saying we're going to put in a bid of 65 to something, everything totaling around 75 million. And we're hearing that he's in high spirit. He loves the club. He want to stay and help the club do well and all that, yada, yada, yada. Your thoughts, please.
Well, big up, everyone. I haven't been here.
Yeah, big up to you, pardon my bad manners. I hope you're doing well.
Doing all right. I had to rush on today because I didn't know you got the Chelsea accountant on today, a special guest. So I wanted to go through
You're talking about
a
Louis.
lot of stuff my brother said there, the accountant that I disagreed with. He compared De Jong to Jorginho. I guess maybe it shows how much you know about De Jong, even though you said your brother's a fan, and you said you wanted to give Cho and a thing ago, Gilmore. I mean, De Jong is on such a level that is almost unobtainable if maybe next season. The only reason De Jong is obtainable is a financial issue. If Barca didn't have a financial issue, and if he took a wage cut, he stays. There's no getting De Jong. Even for 150 mil, there's no getting him. But there's an opportunity to. This is an unobtainable player, right? Class player. Can play. He could do Jorginho's role. He could do Cover's role. He can even do Mount's role. That's how good this player is.
And can also play as a central defender.
And a central defender. This guy is class. To start putting your accounting. Oh, why we're spending this much for Cucurella? Why we're spending this much? Oh, I'll tell you why we're spending money, right? And Coach already said it. I've been advocating for it. We're overpaying for players because of the situation we're in. But the other situation that no one brings up, Todd Boehly and his consortium want to have a good start. We're losing players. Tuchel's got... Do you know what? You know, if we were under Abramovich, right, they would... Before getting rid of Lukaku and Werner, right, they would have sacked Tuchel before getting rid of them.
Yep. Yeah, even though they aren't profit focused, they're not into checking. Okay, how much are we going to lose by sacking this player? Again, I don't know if that makes sense, but they'd rather sack Tuchel and keep Lukaku. And that was, if you ask me, I'd say Lukaku believed that would actually happen. But go ahead, brother.
Lukaku did what he did because when he was last here, he knew what player power was, and he tried to exercise it again, right? That's what he did. He only took it 4 months. He goes, you know what? I don't like this. I'm gonna get it my way. That's what he did, right? And all these players are trying to do the same. Now Tuchel's actually being promoted into a better position, and players know that it's Tuchel's.
But I wouldn't call that
now.
a promotion either, because it's just that is just being done to be sure the right profile of players come in. Because if it's a promotion indeed, his role on the website would change. It just does. Yes. I think that just
it's a promotion without a title. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
just because they want to make sure they're getting the players he wants at the point, because we don't have a DOF.
Yeah, but even with a DOF, Tuchel is established himself in a good position. You know, like Alex Ferguson wasn't DOF, but we all know, there's no secret. He ran almost every aspect. Arsene Wenger as well. They weren't DFOs, right? But they ran almost every aspect in that company, right? Even Wenger has shares. So Tuchel. So the thing about Chelsea has been in the past, right, is that if a player is unhappy with coach, he doesn't really need to leave. He just know maybe eventually this is going to change, or they'll go to the higher ups and they'll complain there, right? And they can get their way. Player power was massive. Now, when Tuchel's doing all the signings and deciding who to go, right? The players that maybe have had a falling out or know I've dropped in the pecking order, they know they got no chance now. This guy's not leaving. This guy's getting his way. That's why all these players want to go. And rightfully so. And that would never happen. But this is almost the best window on getting rid of players. Get them. No one was good enough. To almost... people are calling for Rice now. I've been asking for Rice. No one wanted Rice now. How are we going to spend 100 mil for Rice and people want Rice now? Even when you compare Rice and De Jong, they're two different players. That's how good this guy is. So, I think, end of the day, people are complaining about money spent without actually showing their true agenda on why. No one really cares about money spent, right? The only reason I care about if money spent and wages is now that Werner's gone, that wage allows someone like De Jong to come in or any other good player come in. That's what it does. The guy was fourth in our pecking order. It didn't even make sense for someone in his position, right, in the pecking order to get that much money. So that's why even selling it for 25 mil makes sense, just to get that wage bill off, just to get Lukaku out, get Ziyech out, get them all out. If they don't want to play, then you can say we play Broja, Gallagher, whoever you want. But regardless, we're overspending, right? But the consortium are putting in as well, effort as well. It's not just Bowley. There's other people in play. They want to have a good season. They're going after young talent. They're going after everyone. We could have by the end of the window, we could have a 300 mil window. At the way it's going, we're overpaying, but we're getting. Maybe look at the player. Fofana, right, is one of the best young defenders out there, and we're going to overspend and get the best young defender. And in the back three, he might look even more better than he's already looked. De Jong, if you leave De Jong till the end of the season, right, there'll be so many clubs in for him. And we're sitting here being picky. Everyone's being picky about Zaha, every player. We need people to score goals. We need talent. I don't know how everyone's in this position where they want to be picky. And I know I'm going on. I'll address the De Jong situation for me. Is that the way I feel about it? I hope he comes. There's a chance he comes. De Jong is in the best position of power. The longer he holds out, the longer he gets what he wants, and that is the biggest question. What does he want? Does he want his wages? Does he want a big payoff? Like if Barca are in such a bad position, Barca might have to give him a lot of money, plus the transfers. He might actually collect a lot. He might actually cash out well. But Barca have to pay him his wages. He could ask for more than his wages. He could say, you got to give me a 20 mil payoff. And then a massive sign-on bonus. De Jong can actually cash big on this transfer because of the position he's putting Barca in. Or does he want to stay? Does he want to win the fans over? Does he want to perform his best, right? And show to win back the fans, and then that will put pressure on the president, and no one will ever talk about his wages no more, and then he actually eventually gets to stay, and he turns this whole situation around. And you know, if he wins, all you have to do is win the Barca fans, and this whole situation changes. And don't remember the wage cut. So
overall, for you think it's 50-50. Anything can happen.
Yeah, but I feel that also if De Jong takes that road, I think Barca are really gonna test him. I think that he could be benched. He could be told not to play, and then that puts his position, you know, in the Dutch team at risk as well if he doesn't play at all. Or he could be isolated. They could do so much stuff to him just of how much hate they put, and he can't say anything. You know, he can't. He's when he waived those wages, He can't protest. He can't say anything. He can't say I don't want to leave. He can't complain anything. That's why he's having this stance. I want to play Barca. I want to stay, and that's his stance in the public. Because if he says anything, he forgoes those wages that are offered to him.
Yeah. Let me quickly catch up with the chat. Yeah. Again, that's why I always like to have you on the panel. Were you still saying something, Declan?
No. I could go on forever.
Hey Coach, do you mind if I get a response in?
Yeah, but let me catch up with the chat a bit. It's becoming too long. You know, you've been in the chat yourself. And again, I like it that you have a response to what he's saying. I'll let you come in. Is that okay? Should I go on and catch up with the chat?
All right, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Louis. I appreciate that. Chelsea OG says we need an all or nothing. See behind the scenes for real. Okay, that's your concern. The Young had just one more assist than Jorginho. Be careful what you say. I'm going to highlight this. So we'll look at the stats later on. Again, they say numbers don't lie, but there's more that we want, that we know he can provide than Jorginho does. But that's, by the way, 90 for Fofana, 85 million for FDJ. We are the charity FC, but that's getting too far. Is that how you see it? We have no choice. That is, again, we're like beggars right now. This is what we have to do if we really want to do well, even if the plan isn't to do well the coming season, even if the plan is to do well the season after. Now is the time to start making the moves for it. And we have no option. We have no other alternatives than to overpay. That's where we found ourselves in. And again, we can, if you really want to be, get to, mama-like in terms of the price, and say, okay, what if I give you this price? If we keep doing that, we'll miss out on the best. That is, miss out of the best targets in the market, and then end up, with second-level players that will not be able to help us, maintain that status as a European powerhouse. But that's, by the way, this is no one wants the Young.
Could I put a question to the chat as well, so they can respond?
Oh yeah, ask the chat the question you want to ask them, so they can respond.
There's a lot of people, just like the comment you read out wasn't the first one. Everyone's complaining about the money we're spending, right? And also Louis as well. I just got your name, Chelsea accountant.
Louis Rivera.
Yeah. And now we're in a position we're going to overpay for almost any player at this stage of the window, and they know we need players, right? So what anyone thinks on a player, bump it up a little, right? Can the chat put in the player they do want and how much they do want to spend? Since everyone puts their accounting hat and doesn't want to spend the money, put in the chat. It's not a great market, right? We know there's not a great market for attackers and whatnot. In the chat, put the names you want and how much you want to spend, and we'll see, right? And we'll compare to the Fofana and the young players. Let's compare some players, and let's compare how people want to spend their money.
All right, you heard the question, guys. And Rodrigo, I haven't forgotten that you're here and you have your boss probably waiting to see passengers you pick up. But when I come back from the chat, quickly, Rivera will have his response, and I'll bring you in immediately, no matter what the response is. Are you okay with that, bro?
Yeah, no worries, yeah.
All right, thank you very much. No one wants De Jong at Barcelona. Fans hate him because he is the Maguire from Netherlands. That's how you see it. Okay, De Jong, make up your mind. Then De Jong, you just heard what Kimso said. Please just make up your mind. I'm so annoyed with De Jong. Why can't he make up his mind? Bally and Co are even ready to pay him what Barca owe him in wages. That's another aspect that confuses me. If that's really the case, what's the hold up then? And plus, if Bally has promised to pay,
spiteful, yeah, coach.
Possibly. That may well be the case. He
doesn't want another club to pay it, like he wants Barca to pay it. In a way, people
can do that. Yeah, people can do that. So that may well be the case. Plus, also, again, the fact that they've started doing something that sounds like they're accusing him of being a criminal, and he's willing to sue them from what we're hearing. But there's no telling what's the truth. There's quite a lot out there. But I'll move on from that. Joker says, absolutely agree. Barcelona doesn't want him, and Chelsea is going to pay 80 million for him. Again, I cannot. It's really funny. Jorginho never deserved to even be top 30. He barely even top 3 meets in Chelsea. With that said, getting the young would be a naive decision for multiple reasons. I wish you on the panel to explain that even further. Surely Frankie's lawyers looked over the contract. So again, I would find it hard to believe there was, fraud involved. I think it's only Barcelona putting on a pressure to get him to leave. I think they really want him to leave. And Barcelona's approach, what they do when they want a player out, it's scary. It's really concerning. That's when I agree, yes, they need to be investigated. Because first of all, if you remember the case of Antoine Griezmann and Ousmane Dembele, they wanted them both out. I think they were in a hurry to leave. That's when a video, they had it since, the story of the racism role in Asia. We heard nothing about it, but then all of a sudden the video was out there. So that's how it seems like that's how they operate. They don't really care about the players when it comes, because politics is involved, given the way now they have an election to change the DOF and all that. Again, I don't, it's concerning really, but I'll move on from it because I don't want to confuse myself even further. Machiavelli M says if the younger comes to us and he plays in Jorginho's position, so it's that means Jorginho will leave. Jorginho is looking like he's actually planning to leave on a free because he knows quite well if he leaves on a free, he gets more money. Plus, he goes back to Italy and plays it to a club, like Juventus or other clubs or on the side where they value registers much more than they do in English football. And he do well there. And at this point, he's won the Champions League. He's won the Club World Cup. He's also won, I think I'm missing one, Europa Cup. I'm still missing one, I think, the Super Cup. That's 4 trophies. I think with that, I think it'd be fine. But that's, by the way, again, Chelsea need 2 more CBs, Fofana and Nikola Milankovic. Tuchel wants 2 more. So, but you're making the list for him. You added Nikola. There's no telling whether he wants him or not. Pick up everyone in the chat. Again, I'm far too behind. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Apologies. I will miss out on a few comments, but I'll try to get the subsequent comments. And don't forget, I told you guys, it's a promise. We're working on getting a studio engineer to help us, keep us stay, up to par with everything in the chat. If I try to read everything, we're stuck on that until the end of the show. So I'm going to come back to the panel. Rivera, your response to what Declan said so I can move to the panic bus driver to see what he has to say, whether he's dropped the key or maybe he's just here to pick up passengers.
No, for sure. I love the conversation already. It seems we're getting a little heated, but I like that. So in preparation for today, for the panel, I stood up last night, a couple hours, put some stats together, and just to get back to the response. My biggest fear is that we have other American owners in the Prem who don't have a great track record for continuing to spend money. Now, I know we have Bowley and the consortium, but spending money, let's hope he stays that way, right? And doesn't take after the other American owners. That's to remain to be seen. As far as Frenkie goes, right? It's much more than just money. But I think he's a fantastic player. I think if he's a player that if we can get him, for sure, let's get him, right? And I'm not too pinched on money. But again, with my concerns with Bowley and how everything is playing out, this is a relationship that we've had for 3 months. Who's to say he continues spending money or doesn't? So I like to look out for my club, and I like to understand that it may not always be this way.
That's for sure.
A point with Frenkie is, does he even want to play for us? And do we want to spend $65-70+ million on a player that doesn't have his mind decided? If we're to take Barcelona as examples for spending money for players that didn't pan out, then I mean that's basically what we're looking at. Not only that,
Declan, let him calm down. Let him calm down, Declan. Let him calm down. Go ahead.
I would agree that the Prem is the best league in the world. Honestly, have you seen players from other leagues flop in the Prem? Absolutely. Frenkie's a great player. Does he have any experience in the Prem? We don't know. We don't know how he's going to pan out. He's great for Barcelona. He's great in La Liga. Does that mean it's going to translate? I can't tell you either or. There were even reports on how Chelsea will pick up the money owed to Frenkie. Can you guys believe that? I get we're desperate, but do we want to be the team that does that? If that's true, guys. And when we talk about players that we can that we can look at because we're desperate, what about Max Cornet? I know he's already taken, but he went for the cheap. James Madison, Gerard Bowen, Zaha, Ivan Toney, Ward-Prowse, Ali Watkins, Harvey Barnes, Patrick Schick, Awoniyi, who plays for Berlin, 15 goals, 8 assists. Moussa Diaby had 13 goals, 14 assists for Leverkusen last season. Andre Silva, 17 goals, 6 assists. David Raum, 11 assists. Guys, there's players out there. I'm just trying to make sure. Make sure I'm looking out for Chelsea's best interest, and that's
I get you.
Hey, coach, hold on. I just want to make sure that Louis is looking after us, right? And I want to make sure that I'm keeping Louis a bit honest, because you started saying, well, you know, compared to the other American owners, which is not a great argument. Everyone's had that, during the takeover. Are they going to continue spending, right, in the future? But they're spending big now, so why are you worried now? Why not let them spend? If you're worried about the future, then you'd want them to spend now because they look like they're spending now, and spend as much as they're going to spend now because they're not in the future, right?
They're not going to get the chance to do so in the future.
Yeah, so if that's what your biggest fear is, Louis, right, you'd be more advocating for them to spend as much as possible now than later, if that was your fear. But you quickly turned around and you said that. And then all those players you just compared aren't De Jong's position or anywhere near their quality, right? And then you also just, the last player you said from Bayer Leverkusen.
To be fair,
I mean, how are these players going to pan out if they come to the Premier League, right? These are questions you can play out, but I'm not sure. There is something there, Louis, right? That you're against De Jong or someone else you want instead. And I really want you to tell us, because you're really giving, you're contradicting yourself a little bit, right? With all respect in that, but there's something. I feel like there's something there that you don't really want this player, or you want another player instead. Because, say finances aside, put money aside, right? We know we need players. We also know Kante and Jorginho, 1 year left. I mean, you picked up Jorginho before, right? He's not signing, though. He hasn't signed the contract. And he might leave on a free. So, I mean, as much as you want to talk about Jorginho, there's probably, he might not want to stay. He might leave at the end of the season. So there is that too. You've got to take that into account. You also picked up some of the Chelsea Academy who haven't lived up to expectation yet, and probably need a loan, and which they're going to get. They look like they're getting a loan. Or maybe a sale with buyback. That's what's happening. I mean, enlighten us, Louis, if there's someone else you want in that position. Or someone else instead, or money put somewhere else. Because this, if De Jong plays out how I think he might play out as well, and then he becomes on sale in January or the end of the season, even if we want, we might not get him. Even if we put the money, there's going to be so many big clubs in for him. He's on that level.
Yeah, I again, just quickly, IBZ, you have to wait a bit. We have full house right now, so one person had to leave, and I'll bring.
Coach,
You have. It's your turn to speak now.
Yeah, and then I'll go. I'll to go back to work. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I also quickly talk about De Jong. I don't think he's as centric as Dembele or anything. This is like an opportunistic one. We get him, we get him. We don't get him, we don't get him. It's not like, I know we need this quality midfield. It's one of those, like Leclerc said, it's once in a lifetime opportunity to sign a player like this. So if he means we need to spend £25 million, then let's do it. If we can't do that, then he stays at Barcelona. It's a win-win situation for us. So all we have to do is stay in the background to let this. Because I see a lot of Chelsea fans are getting impatient. No, let it simmer down. It doesn't matter. If he stays at Barcelona, then great, let him stay there. If he makes up his mind and he comes to us, then we do it. In this deal, I don't want Chelsea to go sign any midfielder because we need someone. No, we stay here. We ride this De Jong wave. If it comes to us, then that'll be great. Now, do I believe he'll come to Chelsea? That's very, very tough because if De Jong is a man of principle, and despite that Chelsea will pay his fair wages, but he feels that he's earned those wages at Barcelona, and the way they've treated him, he want Barcelona to cough up the money. Then fair enough to him, and probably that's the strategy his team are probably advising. Because if De Jong, this is just my theory, if De Jong comes out and say, I want to leave Barcelona, maybe Barcelona can then use that as sort of like an excuse or something to say you've breached your contract, something along those lines. So he's in the young camp to stay the course and until such a point where the relationship is untenable, and he will eventually come to Chelsea or go to a different team. But for us, as of now, we should just watch this. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we don't get a young. That's for sure. If we don't get a young, we don't even find any other midfielder. I know Jorginho has a lot of deficiency, but we could do with a Jorginho for another half season until the January window. And finally with a Fofana deal, again, this guy is worth what? Leicester value him at 80 million. You just have to pay the money. At this stage of the transfer window, it doesn't matter what you negotiate to do. You just have to pay up. So you can't be around waiting. To see
pay up or forget it.
Pay up or forget it. That's it. We just have to come up with the money, pay up or forget it, and get these players in because they will obviously improve our team. And people need to calm down. Don't. I was one of those people that panicked on the 17th of June. But now I've seen the players that we signed, and I've seen how those players have performed. I can see that we need to give the full reign to Tuchel. He knows what he's doing. Any player that he chooses is a player that I'll back. So if he says Wilfred Zaha is his player, if he says Cucurella, even though people say we have 6 left back, is one of his players, then let him sign these players. Let's just chill, yeah. That's me saying let's chill, but I still want the right wing back. So I'm not gonna drop the keys until we sign the right wing back and another forward. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let IBZ come on. I will just listen.
And I want to ask you quickly: have you dropped the key to the panic boss? But Kimso is in the chat. He's fighting. She's fighting that she's the driver, not you or he. Go ahead.
He's a modern bus coach. He's a keyless bus. Keyless hotel. So I'm only gonna stop driving that bus on the second.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Again, thank you. Yeah, he's breaking up a bit.
Am I okay? Sorry, I'm gonna jump off and let IBZ on. I'll listen.
All right, no worries, bro. I appreciate you finding time to join us as always. Again, we'll talk later behind the scenes. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Big up, Rodrigo.
So now I'm gonna catch up with the chat. I'm bringing in IBZ. Ty will come in because Ty was here before. Have his say, and I'll go to the legendary IBZ. I hope you're doing well, brother. And here is Faldiazo, aka Boogeyman. He says, actually, I am agreeing with this guy. This guy is who?
Louis.
I'm agreeing with Louis. Not sure about the Young's character. If a club doesn't want you, move on. Man United and CFC are interested. You can use the court to get your money back, but now move on. Get your money back for how long? And you know how things end in court when somebody owes you. They can say, okay, we're able to pay you like 20,000 monthly.
But
yeah.
Can he, if he takes a transfer, can he fight for it still?
Yeah, he can. They owe him money. It's on record. That's the thing. Yeah. Except if they factor, like they've been trying to do, they've been trying to do, if they factor that what's the deferred salary into the transfer fee, the club, like Chelsea, like for instance, Chelsea are willing to take care of that. But I think there's more to what's going on there. We're really not sure.
Yeah,
and as
I don't think Barca want to give it to him straight away. If that's
exactly, they don't have it. They want to save it because here's the thing, they already owe him that, and he can't force them to pay him the money at the same time. But maybe there's a chance Frenkie believes he can actually force them to pay him the money all at the same time, because we're hearing that he's the reason they've not been able to register players. What I explained now, does it make any sort of sense? Because we're hearing.
I think Alonso might be the.
And Alonso can actually join. He cannot join them, from what we're hearing, until they don't register and the players have signed already. Everything is in place. And Alonso, let's see it this way. Alonso is ready to get on the bus whenever it arrives. He's got his ticket, everything. Just the boys are board, but the boss arriving will be Barcelona being able to register the players they have already. That's what we're hearing. But my point is, from the perspective of the young, the case may well be he's fearing if he leaves. Since he's hurt, he understands, to him, if the case is really he had to leave for them to be able to register more players, then he's going to stay and tell them, okay, pay me my money and I'll leave. And for the fact that Barcelona has come out openly, start saying some nonsense about the process of to the contract he signed is fraudulent, they're trying to scare him. That's how I see it. But that's why you want to say something quickly, Declan? Let me see how much I can catch up with in the chat.
I was saying maybe that Alonso deal might help. Might be structured in a way that it helps Barca spend more money and makes them look more on the books. The Alonso one could probably not make sense. It might be a lot of money. It might be really low. It might be a factor to help. But overall, I still think I don't think Barca want to give it to him straight away.
I don't think they want to
trust them.
I think it makes sense. They want to be paying him bit by bit.
Even
and if he goes to court, if he gets them to start paying him through the court, they even be paying him even less money every month.
But would you want to go court? I think when you think about it, Barca have a lot of influence as well. I mean, that's no guarantee as well. He has a good case, but that you wouldn't want to go down that path. I think
it wouldn't help him.
Like I said before, he's in a great position. Barcelona in a really tight squeeze. The season's starting. I think by the end of the window, if De Jong is holding out for full wages, then he might get it. He might actually get it and get his move. I think it's all. I think there's just something holding it back. I'll be surprised if he likes the club that much that he wants to stay and prove the fans and then the president has to pay politics and keep him in some way. Because he becomes so integral, but I mean he has to perform on such a level, the best he's ever played, right?
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat if you don't mind. I'll come back so we can bring in other players, other people that haven't spoken, if you don't mind, Declan, please, because it's getting too long. Okay, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Thank you, Faldiaz. I think that counts. I could say it's a delicious comment. So thank you for finding the time to join us. Again, we have 221 people watching. We have 123 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes. Let's break that record today. We've gotten 300 plus likes for 2 days. Again, we can do that again, but only if you can help us. And the poll that says that you think the young will join Chelsea, 69% says yes and 31% says yes. And that total, we have 297 votes. And we still have 128 votes. Please, if you've taken a second to participate in the poll, please do the same for the likes. Thank you very much. That will go a long way for the channel. I've read that one and says, mind you, isn't talks a city. And I think I'm hearing the Man U, they pulled out of the deal. I want the young to Man United. What a disaster. Again, I'm not sure what you're talking about. There are Bernardo Silva is going to what? Surely we'll go for De Jong. I'm not sure. I hear Barcelona are serious about getting him. So again, we're talking about spending money and not being able to register players, and they're still getting more players in. I don't know how that is possible. We have to remember the tactics and the formation is also one of the problems. Our attackers are lacking at goals. I'd argue otherwise because if you follow Tuchel, to all the clubs that he's coached, his attackers have scored quite a lot of goals. But I don't want to get into that argument right now because we'll just be going back and forth. De Jong doesn't want Man United. Silva not leaving Man City this season Maybe that's the case. We don't know. Missing sitters is not part of tactics or formation. Thank you very much. That's a delicious comment, by the way, and I appreciate that. We cannot hear what Rodrigo is saying properly. Yeah, he had a connection issue, but anyway, he's moved on with the boss. Probably be in the chat looking for passengers to pick up. Let's see what we have here. Leave the young guy again. Anything else? I think I'm just gonna scroll. Again, I'll be highlighting it as we go. So, Ty, I will bring you in before I go to the legendary IBZ. Again, people, 130 likes. Remember, we're shooting for 400 likes, so please keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Ty, your thoughts on the De Jong situation? It's everywhere. Romero thinks it's going to happen. Some people think he's in good spirits, willing to still help the team, looking forward to the start of the season, has a good relationship with Xavi. And then in public, Laporta will say, we want to keep De Jong. He just have to take a pay cut and all that nonsense, and they owe him quite a lot of money. So we're not sure what's going to happen. Ty, your thoughts? What do you think will happen? Let us know.
Okay.
And by the way, I hope you're better today.
Yeah, I've been fine so far, so I guess so.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna start off by something like IBZ first. I honestly don't care. I really don't care about this. I really don't, because this has dragged on for so long, and I mean the narrative and the perspective that we have to use to look at this is the only way that this transfer really happens is if they get the green light or the yes from De Jong. There's reports saying that Chelsea are optimistic and confident of completing an agreement with Barcelona and things like that. But all of that means nothing. It means nothing if the player has still not made up his mind. And this is giving me Dembele vibes, where he doesn't know what he wants. The only two differences is that De Jong is owed money, and De Jong is not at risk of becoming a free agent because he has years left on his contract. This whole situation is very frustrating because there's other players out there that you can look at as alternatives that can offer what people are looking at to say that, okay, if De Jong comes in, he adds this to the team and he adds that. There's players, and even for cheaper, that can actually do what he does or offer 50% of what he does, whilst you still have other players who can also do step in and do what he does that is already at the club. So I think in that sense, this whole situation of we just have to watch like it's a movie to see, or it's a TV show where come back next week to find out what happens, and it's a cliffhanger and things like that. This whole thing is so frustrating because there's other players for cheaper, and the club is just have to be watching.
Are you okay, Ty?
Yesterday, it's a big drama. It's something that can be avoided, and I mean, it's not a case where they don't want to pay the money. Because if what is being said is true, that they're okay with paying his deferred wages, then they'll cover it and things like that. Then that's different from other players in a sense of not being willing to pay the amount. But if De Jong does not know what he wants, if De Jong is torn between staying because he wants his money and leaving, and if he does want to leave, if what is being said is true, that he would prefer a move to a London club, or specifically a club in the Champions League in London, rather than Manchester United. For me, I find this whole situation very confusing, because this could have been easily avoided by having these other options lined up, speaking with other players as well, because there is a possibility that in the end he decides to stay there. We saw what happened with Dembele, and although we didn't make a bid or anything like that for Dembele, they not a bid. We didn't really make an offer to him or his agent. There was not much lined up in a sense of in terms of wingers or attackers to really approach. If Rafinha goes to Barcelona, if Dembele decides to stay at Barcelona or go back to Barcelona, this whole situation is where I see the club not being prepared enough. If there's other players, you would not be just stuck on one player. We know that his situation is so severe, it's so unique that you're gonna have to be waiting to see what he decides. It's foolish. He's not the only player. There is a million players, and I'm pretty sure that there's at least 20 quality or at the level that Chelsea need that they can go for, and it won't cost them for a record fee. So for me, this whole thing is up to the point where I just cannot care anymore, because I just see every day the Young is deciding on his future. The Young would prefer a move to Chelsea. That doesn't help us if he doesn't know what he wants. Whether or not he's open to the move, if he still has not made a decision regarding Barcelona, who is his current parent club, then it makes no sense. There's no point in you going for a player when he still hasn't decided what he wants. He is indecisive. So in that sense, I think that this whole thing, I've lost interest in this whole De Jong thing. And for me, I'm just gonna wait, and I'll keep up with seeing what's happening and try to get updates and things like that. But I honestly don't care about this anymore, because it's gotten to the point where we're wasting time. The window is about to close. There's other players that we need, especially the players that we're losing. Whether or not you think they're special or not, you need to build some squad depth, and you need to build quality in those positions. And so far, we have done that. We're stuck on one player, and players rather, that we need to still focus on the attack as well. We need to add attackers, because you cannot be relying on one addition this summer to get you goals when you know the other players in the attack is not clinical enough. They're not consistent. They don't suit the system. They don't suit what Tuchel wants to do. Whether or not that's their fault or not, that doesn't really matter right now. You need players that can help the team, and right now we don't have that. So right now, I've lost interest in this Fofana thing, this De Jong thing. I just want to see what happens, and if it happens, if it doesn't happen, then we move on. Life goes on. It's not the end of the world. These players are good, but they're not good to the point where you have to be wasting weeks upon them. If the situation with Fofana is different. If you pay the money, you get the player. De Jong, it's different, because there's no decision made on his part if he wants to leave or not. I've lost interest in this, honestly.
Again, I'd be surprised if you do otherwise, because I know that's how you feel. Again, if you are in the chat, if you haven't taken a second to like the video, we have 233 people watching, and we have 135 likes. We're not moving like we're going to get to 400 today. So please keep liking the video. And as you can see on the screen, I'm going to bring in the legendary IBZ soon. I'll take a few contributions from the chat before I do that. We're hearing from that Manchester United have pulled out, forfeited their pursuit of Frenkie de Jong. So it's now just Chelsea in case he decides to leave. And Frenkie de Jong, again, as Frenkie de Jong's situation should be resolved in the next 48 hours. He doesn't want to reduce his salary. Hence, Chelsea is an option. They are now pushing a lot and are optimistic. Plus, also, I'm hearing that's a question I wanted to ask somebody. What's the name? I don't remember what the name is. Some journalists are saying, or do I have that on the screen? Yeah, exactly. It's kind of says not sure if it's been talked about, but Tom Roddy has tweeted that the Young to Chelsea is close. Never thought terms with Barcelona would be difficult. It's convincing the player that is the hard part. And I thought the rumors were before that we were waiting to understand, to be sure that the player really wants to leave Barcelona and that he wants to come to us. So I'm not sure what to believe at this time. But that's, by the way, IBC, just 1 second. I will come back to you. I've read that one. And this is MD says, take up a super slow mode. What is saying? I'm not sure what he's talking about. It says, I want to understand, why do people believe FDJ is world class? What has he done at Barcelona to make people believe this? I don't know. Again, maybe let me highlight that. Maybe there's somebody else on the panel would want to answer that. Bro, stop comparing Barcelona in La Liga and Chelsea in Premier League. The Young would do nothing in the Premier League. You have every right to express your opinion. That's why we're here. But I'd like you to explain. Don't just tell us that he would do nothing in the Premier League. Tell us why you think that's the case. That's how we operate here. And if you do that, believe me, again, I believe you. I don't know where that's coming from. Again, I see it's ready. Confirmed, bro. What's confirmed? Fawale, you let us know. I want to know. Think of the lawyer fee going up against an institution like Barcelona. Again, it doesn't have to be. You can it costs them all sorts of problems. You can go through UEFA, FIFA, and those guys will get involved. And also, there's another body, I don't remember what they're called, that will get involved, and it will not be good for Barcelona's record, because the truth is, that's how dirty this gets. It tarnishes their image. Yes, they're a big entity. They have a big history. But the moment it sounds like all you do, because there's a pattern now. If you look at the case of Ousmane Dembele and Antoine Griezmann, and now the nonsense we're hearing at the Frenkie, that his contract was, the process was fraudulent and all that. There's something he comes out and says, and then players will reconsider joining Barcelona. Plus all the nonsense of adding 400 plus as a buyout clause in a player's contract. There's something going on. It becomes a pattern, and it becomes clear to the world that's not the place to go to. They owe you money, and then they find a way to set you up for it to seem like, again, everything is your fault. But that's, by the way, I'm going to come back in. IBZ, your thoughts on the Frenkie de Jong conundrum. Did we lose IBZ? Is it still with us?
No, you didn't. Sorry, I was here. Sorry, I had to run to the other side.
Yeah, big up, bro, and I hope you're doing well.
Hope everyone is good. Hope
yeah,
good.
Thank you.
Big up yourself. Declared Ty, coach. I don't know the brother's name over there.
Big up IBZ.
Rivera, Louis.
Rivera, Louis. Hope you're all good.
Declared calls him the accountant.
Oh, I see.
And maybe that's what he will be for us.
You see what it is, yeah? This is how I am with all transfers that go this far in it. At the end of the day, he wasn't our primary target. He was Man United's primary target. So if we're still in for a player and it's looking like baggage is surrounding him, let's get the hell out. What are we doing? But again, this is me position. I'm not privy to the discussions or the conversations that I had, prices that are negotiated and lawyers that are involved. So from what I can see, from what I've taken, I do not want the baggage surrounding this player. I do not want. Can anyone hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, sorry. I do not want the baggage surrounding him. The time is, there is no more time, and I do not. Obviously, I can't pick and choose who I want, and it seems that Chelsea are picking and choosing in terms of prioritizing certain signings that are dragging on. We have other players that we can look at, and it will be a testament to the scouting department and or DOF if we had one, that will be looking at these targets. But because we don't have one, we are where we are. A merry-go-round, a circus. We're in a fun fair right now. We're going on all the rides. We've been on the Rafinha ride, the Koundé ride, been on the Lewandowski ride, been on all rides. We're going to keep riding. And it's cool because we have someone that is trying to be ambitious and make statements and trying to get the best in class so Tuchel can have a good squad to work with. Realistically, it's a merry-go-round and it's a big circus in which we cannot take anymore. I do not want us to be going around the player that we're twerking. Is he coming? Is he going? As far as I'm concerned, you can stay where you are. I'll go for someone else in the Championship. I'll go for someone in the SPL. I'll look for someone in the Dutch League, in the Norwegian League. I'll look for someone in Italy. I'll go for anyone else but Frenkie de Jong because I don't want the baggage. There's too much baggage around it. I'm not denying his quality. I don't care how much we sign him, whatever. Just there's too much hype surrounding it.
But he leaves the baggage at Barcelona. It's a baggage that he cannot come with to Chelsea.
Well, no. I'm not talking about what he brings to Chelsea, but in terms of what it is around surrounding him, in terms of what the Barcelona are doing with the wages and what have you. I don't want to even be a part of that. But that's just me, innit? I don't want to be a part of that. Like, that's sort that out, mate. It seems that you haven't got your situation sorted, and I don't want to be privy into buying into that and negotiating into that if you ain't got yours sorted anyway. So I'll look at other targets and see what my options are. But in the sake of understanding that Toboli hasn't got the best in class to help him with this situation, I have to side with him. And in siding with him, I have to look at this situation in Frenkie de Jong and say, what are we going to do with this guy? This guy is looking like Man United is pulled out with the deal and we're waiting on him. can I be very honest with you? When Frenkie de Jong reports come, I don't even read into it. I couldn't tell you the timeline of events. Since day one, I've known it will be like this. So I've had that approach of I don't care. I really don't care, because I believe it's a signing we won't make. I believe Fofana, Fofana's another one, but I will give it a bit of a...
Yeah, we will get to that topic in a bit.
I'll give it a bit of a bly because of the fact that it's not as political as De Jong's situation, but it's still in the same bracket. Like, we've been Fofana for like 2 weeks now. If it's not done, like, what are we doing? We haven't got the time or the, you know what I'm trying to say? We got Everton on Sunday. I mean, Tottenham on Sunday. It's, you know, we need things done ASAP. But what we have here now is a circus that Todd Bowley will need to ride out and understand that this is where we are. And we as Chelsea, this is where we are. We can't pick and choose, but we're twerking. We're all over the place in the transfer market, and we just have to accept it. But me personally, coach, if you ask me, let's move on. I can't be after. There's no energy. I don't know. I'm not disputing what he will bring. I'm not disputing his quality, but I'm sorry, you're not the only guy that can play football. You're not the only one that can pick a pass. You're not the only one that can run and dribble. I'm sure there's some other people that can do the job you're doing. If there was a Johan Cruyff, if there was a Ronaldinho, if there was a Neymar, there's more coming. When we were saying, oh my God, Ronaldo R9, oh my God, then we saw, what's it called, Erling Haaland, you know? There's players that will come through, yeah? There's players that will come through and they will nurture the talent of football, yeah? So we don't need to worry about twerking over one guy, oh my God, media, like Ty said, it's just a TV series. Catch us next time on the Frenkie de Jong episode. Will he join, who's got time? Please, bro. So, like, that's my stance on it. But in the benefit of the person that doesn't have the experience, like Todd Bowley, to attract these players or have a definitive direction on how he's going to approach this, I'm going to have to look at it and say, boy, it is what it is. And if Frenkie comes, he comes. If he doesn't come, he doesn't come. We have to move. But it may look like we may pay over the odds, like Declare mentioned earlier, because we're in a situation where we have no time. And players that we are trying to get, they are at the what's the word? They're at a better position to dictate prices, and we just have to accept it because we haven't got time if we need it. So we are where we are. So what can I say about Frenkie? If you like, come. If you like, don't come. Me personally, I couldn't be bothered. Don't come because there's too much baggage. But I couldn't. It's like a Kunde to me, if you ask me. It's like a Kunde, you know. But it's whatever. I guess people want him, people don't.
Yeah, again, if the manager wants him, I want us to get him, and I want us really, even if the manager doesn't want him, he's a player I'd like to see at Chelsea Football Club. I think he can give us more than what we have at this point. The beautiful game is, leveling all the panelists as Rory Jennings. Okay, I'm not going to say anything, but I think I'll get my revenge on you, the beautiful game. But that's, by the way, you should listen to players' desire. The young don't want to leave Barcelona for reasons we've talked about here, and I don't want to go into that right now. Again, let me see if there's anything else I'd like to address here. The young joining Chelsea will get bamboozled again, you think? Okay, let's see what happens. Whatever happens, it will have to happen before La Liga starts in a few days. Otherwise, that's why we're here in 48 hours. Otherwise, Barca won't be able to play games with the new players. That is a serious no. Again, I get that argument right there. And let me see if there's anything else to address here. Go for Nunes from Sporting. We've been linked to Nunes. What happened? Have we given up?
How can someone say no baggage is Barca's issue? He's world class FFF. So there's discussions in this. Who said it's not? Who said it's not baggage? Someone tell me he's not baggage. What's going on? Is Frenkie de Jong?
He's not baggage because if the transfer happens, the whole baggage is solved.
Yeah, the baggage is at Barcelona. We don't have any issues with him. Every problem he has, all the problems he has, they are with Barcelona, not with Chelsea. Chelsea will be a new beginning for him. If that's how you want to see it. But I'd like us to move on from this topic here.
No problem. Let me just add that there's baggage in getting him. Like, he's saying no, Barca saying go. That's baggage.
It's not called baggage.
There are reasons.
Opportunity.
Yeah, there are reasons behind those things.
Yeah, but why would I need?
There's
Why would I
opportunity
need
to
to
get
wait for
him.
them to sort their issue out before I acquire this player? That's baggage, bro. That's unnecessary hype.
No,
Bro. I don't need
it's
that
not
time,
baggage. It's
bro.
an opportunity. Now, this financial issue is the only way this player is leaving this club. He'll
Okay,
never
okay.
leave
So
before.
what if
So
it's not?
now,
What if it's
so
not
now we're
resolved
just
till
ready
September?
to see how the situation unfolds.
So what?
I
Are we
think
gonna
let's
wait?
That's
let's
where
let's just let's just let's just move on from that
So we
topic
just
because we'll be
so we
going
just
back and
wait.
forth and it will never end. And I want to
No, I
since
understand.
I'm
But
still with you,
you just said just
IBZ.
wait till September the
Yeah,
1st. Just
IBC.
wait.
While I'm still with you, that's by the way. Again, what we have 230 people watching, and we're still at 159 likes. Please, we're shooting for 400 likes today, and I still think we can get there, but only if you help us do that. Without you, I don't think we'll be able to do that. So since we're at right now, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom so that whatever we're talking about is aligned. We don't want to be going back and forth a particular topic. Again, it can be mentally exhausting. So please, yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for 151 likes. Keep liking the video. Let's get it to 400 likes today and break that record. IBC, since I'm with you, your thoughts on Christian Pulisic. Again, we're seeing, and I think it's how we're hearing that Thomas Tuchel doesn't trust the player, and it looks like that's the case. But I want to get your thoughts. He's a player, you could argue, for me, he's shown that he can actually perform in big games. There are examples to point to if anybody wants that to happen. But overall, there were times where he had the opportunity to cement a place in the team. He didn't take those opportunities. Why? I don't know. Some people argue it's because he's played out of position. I'm not sure what's going on. But it looks like Tuchel is willing to move on from the player because the rumors are Tuchel is rebuilding, and he means rebuilding because we're hearing he wants to restructure the attacking area, to get them to play the way he wants. But I want to get your thoughts.
Well, he hasn't got time if he wants to do that. If he wants to let Pulisic go, again, it's what the gaffer wants, innit? It's not his player. So I can't advocate for a player that's not his to stay or leave. You know what I mean? Pulisic is a weird one because he has shown that he can do it. I believe he can. It's just injuries probably hampered him. And when you kind of see he's getting there, he just gets a setback in injury. Then he comes back, then he has to get back into the form again. Probably the team performance ain't really helping. So it's one of them ones. If Tuchel, again, in Tuchel you trust, you have to anyway. If Tuchel doesn't see fit, then he believes then he will have to make or break. He's probably saying, you know what, I've come in, I've tried it with you. You've not been effective as I want you to be. Plus, he's probably looked at the injury issue as a concern as well. I mean, no manager would like an injury-prone player. They may like him, his personality, but being an injury-prone player, you're no used to the squad. Eventually, you'll be sold on. So maybe that's what's in his thinking. I believe that Tuchel may have a replacement in place, someone that's less injury-prone as Pulisic, and that we may want to bring in. But hey, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'd like to see maybe give him one more year, give him one more year to see if he could stay fit, have less of an injury crisis, because I believe he can hit form. I mean, if he can play either side. It could be the
player though. It could be the player pushing for the move.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Exactly. It could be him as well. So we don't know where we are, because I did hear that when Tuchel said that there are players that don't want to leave, that don't want to be here. It wasn't just Werner he was on about. I mean, he plural. I can imagine Ziyech, Pulisic as well. So yeah, I mean, if Tuchel believes it's time to part ways, We can look for alternatives. But the problem we have is that we haven't got time. So unless something's on the table now, then it is what it is. But we'll see what happens.
Well, having said that, it might not be all. Maybe the plan's there. And it might not all happen in the one window. Could happen in January. It could happen next season. So it's just like, I mean, to even touch on the Jong stuff, maybe we plan to buy a midfielder next season, right? Maybe because of what's happening with contract situation with Kante and Jorginho. Maybe there is a plan to pick up a midfielder, but not now. But now the situation with Jong has come up, and that's why they're ready to go gung ho, and buy a player that they won't have to buy next season, right?
Okay.
That's opportunity. That's what's happening, and I think there's a lot. And to make this really a Tuchel team, it won't happen right now. It will take. It could take two. It could take 3 seasons before we could say, just like how we look at Pep and Klopp's team and we say, they're all their players. All these players came under them.
Yeah.
I mean, till we can say that about Tuchel, that might take its time, and maybe Pulisic will be out by then. But like you said, if he starts to perform, then he might stay. But if no one's coming in, then a lot of these players are staying. That even if they want to leave, so as long as someone comes in,
the case,
yeah, that is the case. We're not gonna be left with no one. So I think that's and it is coming to how many 3 weeks left.
Even Pep did it. Like Pep just got De Bruyne as the last surviving member of the squad that Pep inherited.
And that's a quality player as well.
So I guess it does take some. Let's say 6 years. I don't know how long has Pep been there. What, 2017? 5-6 years.
Yeah, we got to take into account. This is like Alonso. I think Alonso is from. We got players from Conte, while Conte was managing us.
Alonso.
So we're actually fixing a massive mess over 3 managers, and how many seasons. So it can't happen in one window.
So, Declan, you can come in. Your thoughts on the Christian Pulisic situation, because you said something which I think is the case. There's a chance he's pushing to leave because it's a World Cup year, and if he doesn't play that much, I don't know how much time he has actually to wait and see what happens. Because he was there throughout the preseason, and as the season started, he didn't even play. Even in preseason, he didn't start that much.
Yeah, I think Pulisic is fortunate to play for the USA. So even if he sat on the bench, he's such a big player for them. He'll still play.
Yeah, they start him even when he doesn't play that much.
Yeah, so I think he's, in terms of World Cup, I don't think he's worried about that. But what he's worried about is being in the best shape possible to perform in the World Cup, right? And he's not going to get that if he's not playing. And so I think there's also talks of attackers coming in. Just like what happened to Werner. As soon as Sterling came in, he's down the pecking order. As soon as, if Brozier's going to stay, down the pecking order. If there's another player that comes in, he's going to be in Werner's position. And all you want to do is play. I think Ziyech feels the same as well. I think that's why these players want to play. They've had 2 good seasons to really show, and to get a feel of where they feel. So, and I think they believe more attackers are coming. That's why they want to leave. And like I said, it depends on who we get. Yeah, they might not want to come.
Yeah, I think you make a good point there. I think once somebody comes in, it will be clear to them that you're really not wanted there and your chances are limited. Then they'd ask to leave. And then the manager has shown he'd continue to play the same system, which means Christian Pulisic will continue to play as an inside forward, which I don't think he's done really well there. The manager doesn't really trust him, and I'd hate us to be selfish about that. If it's not going to work, just let him go. But then again, the club, I don't see the club letting any player go without being sure of getting a replacement or having a replacement already. But that's, by the way, again, Matthew Lee Benjamin, it's been a minute, brother. I hope you're doing well. Please do let us know that you're well. FDJ works better, higher up the pitch. Again, he's a creative player. But again, that's the issue with players who are versatile. You see clubs playing them everywhere. So it's hard actually to pinpoint a position where you say that's the best position. But again, given his ability to, orchestrate defense splitting passes, you could argue, yeah, he'd do better as a number 8 or closer to the final third or whatever the position is. Again, I wonder why no one is talking about Ruben Neves, though. We're only in most cases talk about players that are being linked with the club, or we're here that we're serious about getting in most cases. Not DM. Where's Busquets? Where does Busquets play? Again, good question. Go for Moise Kean as number 9. He can play 3 positions in would even be perfect with a rotation. How he was at Everton on loan. How well did he do? So maybe that's a yardstick to measure how well he do at Chelsea too, or in the Premier League. So again, best deal Chelsea could do. Imagine Sterling, Kane, a combo. Yeah, but they can't do well in the Premier League. And when how again, I think there are better options there than Moise Kean. Pulisic is not clinical at all. That's her opinion. I think for me, in terms of being clinical, I'd argue one thing you'd always get from Pulisic, even on his worst day, is that he'd always get in behind opposition defenders and will always get in the box. And if you can get him the ball, let me just to be safe, 50% out of the time he'd put away the goals. But again, I'm not here to argue why his career at Chelsea hasn't worked. My argument is that if the manager doesn't want him, let's not be selfish. Let him go where he believes he'd thrive. That's, by the way, again, anything else to MC Raz. Again, nice to see you here, Chris David. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Pulisic missing cities, but somehow it's the system. I don't want to get into that argument right now, please. Just let me out of it. Kim. So again, Olupo says over 200 people watching. Smash the like button, people. Yes, again, we're at 163 likes, and we still have 212 people watching. We're shooting for 400 likes. I'm not sure if we're going to reach that today, but let's get it to at least 300 likes. So keep liking the video if you haven't, guys. I appreciate all the support and everything. Says Juve has problem. Again, it says Juve has a problem. He says they have no playmaker. Dybala left, Rabiot as well. They struggle bringing in play in that position, and Juve used them as a left wing and a false nine. Okay, you're talking about Moise Kean. I understand that argument, but that's, by the way, I'm going to come back to the panel quickly. Tobago, I want you to talk about Christian Pulisic. What do you think? His situation and overall, do you think the club should even keep him or let him go?
For me, Pulisic.
Your ID, please. Your ID. Show us your ID.
Okay, to be honest,
there you go.
I feel like the club should fight to keep Pulisic, even though he say he wants to go. For example, if you're going to sell most of our attackers, when Sterling is not available or the other attackers are not available, who will we replace them with? There's no time now to get more replacement for this player. So I feel like Pulisic still have that thing to fight for, only if he stays injury free and trusts his abilities. Because we saw the real Pulisic under post lockdown period. He was so fiery, but again, since that period, we are not seeing that. So hopefully, he can turn into that, and then maybe Tuchel have a second thought about him. But again, with Pulisic, I'm not sure he will leave. Also, as American and American owners will try to persuade him and say, "No, man, you need to stay. You are representing us now."
Again, if that's how you see it, again, I get your argument, but I think we just let the player go. And then I agree with the argument that Thomas Tuchel don't trust him again. But we'll see what happens. Your thoughts, Ty, on the Pulisic case? Did we lose him? I don't know if I should move to someone else while we wait for him. Okay, let me try and read some stuff in the chat. It's not like Pulisic was a starter.
Hey, Coach?
In his yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to add something to that because I think everybody else on the panel made really great points.
Yeah, go ahead.
So go ahead. I think Ty, Declare, and everybody on the panel made really, really great points about Pep having his team. We have to remember that Tuchel had world-class players at PSG, and everybody always got the sense that maybe they wouldn't be back after that Champions League loss. When he was describing why he used the 3-4-3 in his first game with Chelsea, Tuchel said that he just had the players, right? And so that gave him the confidence to move forward. Now, Declare and Ty said the same thing. Pep had years and years to develop exactly what he wanted to see on the pitch with his players. What I would say about Pulisic is that, I mean, he's 23 years old. He's versatile. We've played him all over the pitch in his stint with Chelsea. Last season, he had 22 matches played. 13 of those were starts. He scored 6 goals in the Prem, 2 assists, 8 goals in all competitions. Now, he's capable, and as you said in the beginning when we first started talking about Pulisic, he has a knack for scoring against amazing teams. He scored against Liverpool. Everybody remembers that run he made that he scored
Real Madrid, Arsenal,
against Man City as well. But the last point I would like to make is that we remember that Pulisic was being coached by Tuchel in Borussia Dortmund, right? I mean, if anybody would, especially if Tuchel's saying he can't trust them, I mean, these guys have history. So if Tuchel's saying that, and it goes all the way back to BVB, then, I mean, we have to put our faith in the manager and sit here and say, hey, listen, a lot of those 22 matches played in 13 starts, a lot of that is Pulisic's doing too. A lot of that is him being injured. So I agree with everybody on the panel. I think you guys make great points. I think if it's his time, let him go and let's move on. If we keep him, great. If we don't have enough time in the transfer window to move him, we keep him. But ultimately, if Tuchel decides, hey, let's move on, I think we put our faith in the manager and we say, hey, let's move on.
There's a chance he wouldn't come out to see it. I think if he sees, I think I've had that argument with someone thinking. I think something like I think he sees Pulisic as an impact sub, and that's how he used him at Borussia Dortmund. Yep. He didn't start that much under him at Borussia Dortmund. And like you said, they have history. And if he thinks, if we're sensing that the manager can't trust him, forget it. Yeah, I get the argument, and I've made that. One of my first videos as a content creator was to argue why Pulisic won't leave Chelsea. But if Thomas Tuchel doesn't trust them, why waste his talent? That's a chance he goes to some other club and thrives. And let's not be selfish about it. Just let him go. And it's becoming clear, actually, Thomas Tuchel doesn't trust him. He's been fit for a while. He hasn't had injury issues for a while. And again, we've seen a situation where his dad puts out a tweet, deletes it. So it will only get worse. It will only get worse. Just let the player leave. But I'm sensing, given that we have owners who are profit-focused, and again, we've all known that that Christian Pulisic he means more than just a footballer for the club because of the sales of merchandise in the US. He sold more shirts than Cristiano Ronaldo. I think it was 2 years ago or this past year. Let that sink in. So to him, to the club, it's business. So the question remains: what would Todd Boehly want to do? And his consultant, what would they want to do? Given that his business also, how are they going to find a way to keep the player happy? That's what I cannot explain. But my point is, let's just not be selfish about it. He's a good player. He's still got it in him, and chances are he can only get better. Hopefully, he stays injury-free. We just have to let him go. Let me read a few stuff in the chat. Again, we've gone beyond FDJ, so I'm going to scroll to the very bottom to read comments that are aligned with what we're talking about at this point. Sorry if I missed any of your inputs there. Again, here is Lionel saying Pulisic must go. Stalin has done more in one game than he has done in 2 years. Wow. Again, that's your argument, and that's really not fair there. That's not fair at all. I have to be honest with you. But that's, by the way, again, if you have time, go check out Lionel Gio's YouTube channel and be sure to subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to move on now, again, to see, some comments here taking us back and forth. But Ty, let me come to you and get your thoughts on the Christian Pulisic situation. What do you think will be the best decision right now?
Honestly, if it's being said that he wants to leave because he's not getting the game time, he's not playing in his natural position, then...
just to be clear, that's not the case. It's just that people are saying that the manager don't trust him, and they're saying that Chelsea are trying to find a way to manage his situation so he doesn't... it doesn't look like he's pushing to leave right now. There's still time. But I'm suspecting 4 or 5 games into the season, if he doesn't start, even 3 games into the season, if he doesn't start games, he will start pushing for it. But go ahead, Ty.
If the manager doesn't trust him, then, like I heard you were saying, it's the same thing that I'll use again. The player that he sees Pulisic as over the years has always been as a super sub. He's always done that with him. even when he played against Man City, Pulisic came off the bench and scored. That's the way that he sees Pulisic. Now we know that Pulisic in some games can have impact, but at the same time, his inconsistency will also not allow the manager to want to play him. Because I don't think that Tuchel will be that naive to say, okay, well, I know this player from Dortmund. I know that he would do good if I don't play him and I just bring him out off the bench. That'd be foolish. And I don't think anybody thinks that, oh, I'll just keep this player on the bench, and then if I need a goal, I'll just bring him on. If I don't need a goal, then he's just not going to play. I think if the best thing for him is if he leaves. I know fans are saying that, oh, we don't have the players, we're losing our players already, and we haven't signed anybody. But at the same time, you cannot be keeping a player that is being obstructed from playing just because of your own benefits. That's being selfish. And I mean the player's career is in the picture. And I mean, considering the fact that American owners does give some level of assumption that he will say because of the financial part of it, what it brings in terms of revenue and things like that. But I'm not really sure if the fact that it's a situation where people are looking at to say, oh, he's American, so that is okay. I don't think Todd Bowley or the consortium that he's the leader of would say that, oh, we're gonna keep this player because he's American and because he brings revenue. Because I don't think Pulisic would accept being used as an ad. Or somebody who you use to gain profit. I don't think that is the case. But I mean, if it's a case where he's not pushing for the move right now, it means that there's still hope, like you said. But if things continue to go the way it is, where he's not being utilized, he does not feel like he's being used in his right position, then I mean, whether or not you think it's true or whether or not you think he's complaining too much, if he wants to be playing games and he's not getting that game time, he has all right to feel like he's not being utilized, right? So I guess right now he's not pushing for it. I'd keep him, but the best thing for his career is to sell him if things don't improve.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, it's not a simple one. It's not a simple one. That we'll have to be honest. Again. Thank you for 174 people watching, 171 likes, 29 more to get to 200. Let's get it there. And again, if we can get it to 300 at least by the end of the show, 300 is the standard now. That will be great. Don't get Aubameyang. He's not good. As good as Ronaldo is better. You just go in for Ronaldo's name. We're talking about Aubameyang, who 2 consecutive seasons in the Premier League scored 22 goals plus, and his numbers only started dropping when Mikel Arteta took over. Probably so that makes it clear. You can just argue that comes down to the manager's approach to the game changed. If Zaha joins, he will fight for the team. This is what we need. Again, some people see the Zaha behavior on the pitch from a different angle and thinks he's spoiled, always complains and all that. Again, me and CR7, another winger, and Frenkie with Fofana, and we will win the league. That's how you see it. And Lionel Jewell says Pulisic also came off the bench and missed an open goal. He is an American Werner. Let him go. Again, this is not me being biased. I think there's a good player in him. And I'm not going to go into okay. I have an update from come off the bench again. I've read that one and says this one again. He says some silly comments over Pulisic. Esa Manos. Okay, I get that. All right, let me see what next we have here. Sorry, my screen is a bit frozen. Pulisic claims he plays better on a free roll. Now he's been playing a free roll for some games now, but he's still not putting those consistent performance. The truth remains, again, I'm an American and I like the player. I like him really well and I believe he's a big game player. But to answer the question, has he been consistent enough? I don't think so. And again, this is something I've talked about here before. I think games before the final of the Champions League, I think he started 3 consecutive games in a row, and I was expecting him to put up a performance that will help him cement a place for the UEFA Champions League finals, and he didn't do that. He didn't take those opportunities, and I was so freaking pissed at again because that was a great opportunity for him, and he again. I don't want to get into it again. As much as I like him, it hasn't really worked out for him at Chelsea. You could argue, yes, he's again the manager has played him at positions where we've learned that he's not been able to execute the roles quite well. So just let him move on and go to somewhere else where he did better. A player has to deserve to play not because of name or reputation. If the Tuchel system doesn't trust him and wants to leave, and he wants to leave again, put a transfer request like Cho. Tired of babying these players. Cho actually didn't put in a transfer request. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. But he again, maybe he's hopeful something happens. I don't know. Then things would change, or maybe the new owners has convinced him to stay. But I see Tuchel staying for a while at Chelsea Football Club, and things will be again. It will take some magic for things to change for him. So I am for him leaving. He says Tuchel is only concentrated in signing defenders and forget to sign strikers. If we don't sign some attackers, we cannot compete with Man City and Liverpool. I don't think that's the case. I think they're looking at attackers too. The question is, have they seen the profile of players that want in the attacking areas? That's the question you have to ask, because we're learning from the players we're going after. We're only going after players who will fit in the project, in the manager's project. And again, but we'll see what happens. Pulisic is like a bad Super Bowl advert. Oh my goodness. Unnecessary and over budget. You think so? So you're not American, but you understand the Super Bowl very well. Lionel, you're starting a fight here. Again, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. I can't read everything. Unfortunately, it is so much to read. Cannot understand the dislike for Pulisic. There's a lot worse performances coming from all the players that don't get a half the bad press. That's the truth. Again, you could argue it's a stereotype that American players aren't good enough. You could also, see it from the light that it hasn't really worked out for the player at the club. Maybe the best thing will be for him to leave. There are other ways to see it. Pulisic missed in the UEFA Champions League final. I remembered that one too, but you can't blame him for that. Those things happen. But again, I'm gonna scroll a lot of comments here. I can't catch up. The chart is really on fire. We need just 25 more likes to get to 200 likes. We're shooting for 300 by the end of the show. Hopefully, we'll be able to get there. Again, keep liking the video. The original aim was 400, but it doesn't look like it will happen. If it happens, I'll take it, but I'd like it to prove otherwise that it can happen. But that's, by the way, Declan, you've spoken about Pulisic. Ty, have you? Yeah, I think IBZ is the only person that haven't. I'm not sure. Louis, have you spoken about Pulisic?
Yes, I have.
Go ahead, IBZ.
I have as well. I have.
Oh, you have. So everybody on the panel have talking about Christian Pulisic. Yeah, let me start to you, IBZ, with the Fofana deal. It's looking like we'll end up paying how much we didn't know we were going to pay, 80 million plus. We haven't given up. We're still going in. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was expecting that. I'm still expecting it to rise to 100 million. He'll be the most expensive defender of all time. Something like that, yeah. I'm expecting that because of the age and not pay 100 million cash and then I think including everything, all the deal, everything. I think it'll be around that 100 million. That's my thing. Again, they hold all the cards. They can unsettle him. They can unsettle him and say you're not going anywhere, and he don't turn up to training, all of that, and he still won't leave. You know what I mean? Obviously, they can't afford to do that because they need him, but that's the power they hold. They don't have to sell. So if they demand is what they demand, Chelsea will have to agree to if they really want him. So with Fofana, yeah, it don't surprise me, and I'm not here to dictate prices. 80, 100, or we shouldn't get him for that much. And at this point, we can't even get a player for £1, let alone 70 million. So whatever the money is, just get him. Make it now, get it done. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Just get it done. 80 million, if it's 80 million, get it done. If Leicester say, oh, we want 80 million, Chelsea put 80 million, or even, you know what, put 85 million so they shut up and then get it done. And then we'll worry about the price in May, or we'll worry about how much we spent in 5 years when we see what he's done. You know what I'm trying to say? So just get it done. There's no wasting time anymore. What day? 10th of August. So we have, like, say, 20 odd days, and then it's all over. So yeah.
Declare your thoughts on the Fofana situation. Do you think we should move on? Because I'm hearing the club, they've shown an interest on Milan. They're willing to switch. They get to go back for Milan Skriniar with £60 million. And again, what are your thoughts? Because Skriniar isn't a bad option.
Yes, but Skriniar was another name at the start. So the way I feel.
Yeah, we tried to factor him into the negotiation for Lukaku, and they refused. PSG wanted him, they refused.
Yeah, so it's going to take a lot to get Skriniar, and I don't think there's any substance. I think Chelsea wouldn't have done 2 bids, or they're lining up a second bid. I'm not sure what's true. If they didn't know it's possible, and it's come out also that I think the player wants to leave. Also, Leicester aren't in the best financial position as well. So Chelsea know all this, and there's probably a lot more, and they believe it can happen. That's why they threw the bid in, and they might go for second and third, and we're really going to test them and see what happens. But Chelsea must feel that it's possible. That's the reason they're going in. If they thought it was impossible, then they're just going to move on and go to another player as well. So I think they're going to stick to Fofana and really try, because they think it can happen. The Skriniar one, who knows? We'll link to him at the start. There's no bidding.
To you, which of the players do you prefer, really?
I mean, I don't believe Skriniar would be the prices that he's being quoted there, or else he would have been sold already. If they're both at the same price, I'd prefer Fofana.
But Skriniar is cheaper. He has just 1 year left on his contract. So you think it's not cheaper?
If he was cheaper, or not cheaper, I'm saying if the value was there, then he would have been sold already. PSG would have got him. Inter must be
no, but Inter refused to sell. Inter refused to sell him.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Or he might not want to go to the clubs that are being offered to him.
That's a chance that's the case. But to you, you're saying if they are, you say something. Yeah. You said if they are at the same price, you mean like the 85 million pounds or the 60 million pounds?
Regardless, same difference.
Oh, so regardless of whether it's higher or lower, you take Fofana. Why do you prefer Fofana?
Not only because he's younger, but I think he's more in great shape to play, the right or left centre back roles that in the system needed. More quicker, faster, and I think Tuchel can get more out of him. Skriniar is set. This is what you're going to get. He's a good defender. He's probably better than Fofana for now, but I think Fofana will really, establish his place for a long time. And when it comes to, if people are worried about, EPL proven and whatnot, or how's his player going to react, well, Fofana can adapt a lot quicker. For me, being that he's already played in the Premier League. Skriniar, you don't know. And I also believe Skriniar's just waiting. he's waiting for his big pay packet. So I think he's running down his contract, and he's going to get a good pay packet when he's off contract. I think that's what's probably happening. Like, why wouldn't Inter want to sell? Unless Inter are convinced that they get him to re-sign. But none of that's happened. So, in an opportunistic way, we should go for him as well. To see which one of them come out. I mean, if it's either or, I don't mind either. When it comes down to it, and I think most fans will feel the same.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I like Skriniar because of his versatility. He's proven he can play on the left, even in a back three. When again, I think I've said this again a couple of times. When Bastoni got injured, I think he held the ground very well for them. But that's, by the way. Let me bring in before I go to Ty, IBZ, and the rest on the panel. Let me come to Rivera. Your thoughts? Which of the players would you take? Because we're saying, I think the what we're looking at here simply means Chelsea have an offer of 60 million in the pipeline for Inter Milan Skriniar in case they are unsuccessful with their attempts to sign a Wesley Fofana. Yeah, I'm not sure what to decide. I like Fofana quite well, and he's younger, so which means he'll be with us for a longer time, and he has more, the possibility for a sizable fee if we decide to sell him in the future is high. But your thoughts, Rivera?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm going after the comparison with the gentleman before me on both of these gentlemen. So I was looking at a stat comparison yesterday. Wesley Fofana has more passes completed, interceptions, tackles per 90 minutes, interceptions per 90 minutes, clearances per 90 minutes, aerials 1 per 90 minutes.
It looks like we have another statsman in you. I like that.
I mean, but according to the stats, in the last 365 days, putting a direct emphasis on the 2020-21 season before Fofana got hurt, he leads all these categories. You can't even compare Rudiger. And we herald him as one of the best defensive backs that we've had in a long time. He averages more than Thiago Silva for that year. He averages more than Konate for Liverpool, Guillermo Maripán from Monaco, Saliba for Arsenal, and he even has more interceptions than Kante. Actually, no, he has 5 less interceptions. So as far as the comparison goes, I mean, listen, the big-headed guy from Inter, the only category per the stats that he has a clear advantage in is being sturdy. The guy is almost never hurt, and he has over 2,500 minutes every season with Inter. So you know the guy is going to be not injury prone. You know that he's going to stick it out through the season. Lastly, Wesley Fofana. He's 2020-21, played 28 matches with 27 starts, played 2,000 minutes. He's kind of susceptible to yellow cards, not so much. But it's, in my personal opinion, that Leicester don't finish 5th in the Prem that year without Wesley Fofana. He's 21 years old. And before I say this, I want to say, declared Ty, before you guys try to find where I live and burn my house down because I'm about to be a hypocrite here, I think Wesley Fofana is worth every bit of 80 million.
No, believe me, the club thinks so. Maybe Ty, but we'll find out in a bit.
Coach,
I think everything ends here. Don't be concerned about your house. But that's, by the way. Let me catch up with the chat and I'll come to Ty immediately. Are you still talking, Rivera?
No. I just wanted to say, that's basically it. As far as stats go, Wesley Fofana, man, for what he's been showing, he's averaging more than a lot of these top cats. And we're seeing at 21 years old.
Let's take it one by one, Daniel. Go ahead, Rivera.
No, just simply that Wesley Fofana, I think, is worth it. He's averaging more than these top cats in key categories: interceptions, tackles per 90, clearances, aerials 1. He's a big guy. He's 21 years old. I mean, the only thing that we might see as Chelsea fans as kind of worrying is the injury that he had. But I mean,
he didn't even play bad. He didn't play great, but he didn't even play bad against Brentford. And I think at 21 years old, he's worth every bit of 80. And my concern was that if he costs 80 and Frenkie de Jong costs 75, how much money do we have in the bag to actually spill for the rest of this summer transfer?
No,
And my
I don't.
priority,
You stop worrying about that. I think we'll be all
my
right. But go
priorities will
ahead.
be Wesley Fofana. That's the last thing I'll say.
Yeah, I think I think he's a good player, and again, he's young, and given the statistics the stats you just read to us, I think it's worth all the money. But I'll see if Ty thinks so too. Liam Lane says Matthew exactly, and look how long it took to replace them. Again, I'm not sure what Matthew said. Roger says that Pulisic has been inconsistent, yes, but this is because of his injuries, which leads to his lack of playing time, and more importantly, lack of constant playing time. Look at Liverpool's FC's front three, for example. Yeah, I get your point. My point is, again, it doesn't look like Thomas Tuchel trusts him. When was the last time he was injured? But yet, how many games has he played? So let's not be selfish. Yes, he means more than a footballer for us. But we shouldn't be selfish about, allowing the player to go to a place he can develop. And in most cases, people that judge him they don't look, they don't look beyond his injury record, and also they don't look at his age. They don't consider his age. He's still quite young. And we may have a case of Arjen Robben at hand here. The moment he leaves Chelsea, the rest is history. You know the story of Arjen Robben. I know he has that player in him. But my point is, if Thomas Tuchel don't trust him, which I'm seeing that's the case, and which we're hearing that's actually the case, let the player go. That's by the way. And Matthew Lee Benjamin says, when you got a TT showing MM19, Mason Mount 19, and Havertz that they slipping on the pitch says a lot, quite a lot. But again, I think the problem, I'm thinking that game against Everton, I think the players are still in a recovery period. I think they'll be fine before the game against Tottenham. But we'll see what happens. Nicola Ndika is class, but Chelsea want expensive players. Maybe that's the case. But we'll see what happens. Statement signings, if you prefer. Just tell Leicester City it's X, take or leave it, and walk away and move on. Just let Fofana. No, we will walk away. It doesn't come down to it. It's not about what Fofana wants. The club, if they don't want to sell him, he's contracted to them until 2027. Is it? Correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's the year. So you can't just that won't work. And we don't have the luxury to behave like that. We're hearing that PSG is also interested in getting securing the player's signature. I don't know how truthful that is, because I have reasons to believe PSG, I don't think they'll be spending that much money on Fofana, because they signed a right-sided centre back also a week ago or 2 weeks ago from Leipzig, a high-profile player too. I don't think they'd be really interested in spending that much money on Fofana. Inter wanted 75 million euros, which would be around 60 plus for Skriniar, and that's not a bad price. But take a Fofana over Skriniar for obvious reasons. He's younger. If in a few years he wants to move on, we still get a sizable fee for his sale. Chelsea is going in for Fofana. Happy days ahead. Please let Pulisic go. It hasn't worked out. That's how I see it. I'm not into blaming the player for whatever, how their Chelsea career panned out. But that's, by the way, Thiago Silva and Koulibaly will help Fofana. Again, I think he will be fine. That's things when I look at them, I say maybe the price tag won't be an issue for the player. But we'll see what happens. I believe we should indeed keep Pulisic. Not under Thomas Tuchel. Not if we're sensing that he doesn't trust him. Why keep him? That's being selfish. That's also, just keeping him up because, he's business for us. Not just because he's a player. And that will, dwarf his development, or maybe hinder his development. Is better phrased that way. I think we should just let him go. Skriniar will be a PSG player next season. Is that the case? But he's still available. He's still at Inter Milan. Chelsea all the way. The money saved on Fofana would. But Zaha, again, let me see what else we'll have here. And furthermore, I'm not convinced with Fofana's ability as a footballer, even though he's a good defender, or I should say an excellent defender. Okay, I would prefer Skriniar, that sounds like you need to explain yourself there, brother. But that's, by the way, if you haven't, Fairboy is the owner of Fair Chelsea Analysis YouTube channel. If you haven't, please check it out. Subscribe if you like what you see, but I guarantee you, you'd like what you see. He understands football very well and does quite a lot of analysis there. Andrew Fawale, my natural brother, say, why did Arsenal's Aubameyang or because he's a flop at no, he didn't flop at Barca. Have you even looked at his numbers? He played 17 games when he joined. That's this past season. He scored 11 goals. That's not far away from being at least 1 goal per game. That's how good he is. And again, his Premier League numbers are a joy to look at. How many players do we need on the left? Do we have enough on the left right now? Can you name them? Emerson, I'm not sure he stays. Kennedy, I'm not sure. He will most definitely leave. Who else? And when you say on the left, be specific. Left wing back or left center back. In the left center back area, you could argue we have 0 players now, except for Koulibaly, who plays there. So we need another player who can play there. The argument is that Cucurella can play there, but that would be a waste of the player's talent because he can do more for us going forward than he can do defensively. And we've talked about that here a few days ago. Christensen will be available next week. Do you mean he's registered already? I'm not sure. You let me know, but you ended that with a laugh emoji, so I'm not sure what you're trying to say there. 75 million euros for a 28-year-old and 90 million for a 21-year-old is a no-brainer. Again, sometimes you need a mix of experience and youth to get the best results. Don't listen to Chelsea HQ. Just look for looking for clickbait. Okay, thank you for educating me on that. I personally prefer Aki. We've moved beyond Aki. We have historically been inept by losing Tomori. Zuma, for example, Tomori wanted to leave, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Liam Lane says the beautiful game. I need that laugh. Yeah, I need it too. Again, Fabrizio just tweeted that TT and Bolly are going all in for Aubameyang. That was actually, but thank you for reminding me, Suleiman. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you for a while. Again, we have 181 people watching and we have 181 likes. Let's get it to at least 200 likes if we cannot get to 300 by the end of the show. But that's, by the way, I'm going to stop here, come back to the panel, Ty, your thoughts on the Fofana, because it's a conundrum too. Maybe not really a conundrum, but it's not been straightforward.
Like I said, I have lost interest in these transfers. It's stupid. It really is stupid. And I do understand. If you want the player, you find the best compromise. You don't play around. This is not FIFA where you're trying to just keep going back and forth. No, you want this amount, we'll give you this, and we continue, and then you try to go up a little bit, and then until they say fine, we'll accept this. It's not FIFA.
And it's been out there all the while that you're willing to pay the whole amount.
So you either pay the amount or you move on. Stop wasting time. Because
the amount
85 is the remote amount.
We're bidding as well after when.
Okay, let's let Ty finish.
I just want to add, but every transfer is a few bids, and that's normal.
Yeah,
no one pays the asking price all the time. It's always a few bids.
We're almost paying the asking price right now. Let's just let Ty finish. I'll come to you, then the clerk can add whatever he wants to add. Go ahead, Ty. Do we still have you there, Ty? Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just waiting for the time to continue speaking.
Okay.
This whole thing. I mean, the point I'm trying to make is that with Fofana, if the rumored price is 85 million, you either pay 80 million, and if they reject it, then you know that okay, they don't want to let go of the player. You move on, because I mean, Skriniar is there as well, and he's more experienced than him in terms of playing professional football. Yes, I heard the example that the cleared said about, you don't need to worry about if Fofana has Premier League experience because he's played, and it would be easier for him to adapt to Tuchel because he's playing in the Premier League, so you understand the intensity and so on. But for me, I think that you either pay the money or you move, or you just move on, because it makes no sense. They're clearly not gonna ease up, and considering the fact that they know that we're desperate, and I mean, if we weren't desperate, we would not have quite easily said, okay, because we want Cucurella this badly, and because we're not going to give you Levi Cole on a permanent, let us just add a little bit more in terms of compensation, so you can accept our bid whilst getting Levi Cole for a year at least. To me, this whole thing is a situation where Fofana has made it clear that he wants to leave Leicester City. There's no doubt about that. You don't remove the name from your bio just like that, because the only time you do that is if you're switching clubs and eventually put the name of the new club. So I think in that sense, it's either we pay the money or we walk away. It makes no sense you try to play around the price when you've noticed that Leicester City are not in a position where they have to sell him. They have a long-term contract with him. The only reason why they probably want to ensure that he gets a sale is because he looks like he's not willing to stay there, and they don't want to have an unhappy player. But at the moment, when it comes on to their status or their position in terms of it's a player that they need to rush over the club because he's running over contracts and things like that, that's not the case, because they have 5 years with him still or something along those lines, because I don't remember the contract length. The thing is, I keep saying this, the reason why we have to be spending highly as well is because they know that we're desperate, and plus we're buying the player out of the club. It's not a case where he has 1 year left on his contract, so we can probably go for a compromise of 30 million, 40 million, 50 million. It's a case where he has 5 years left on his contract, meaning that he's going to have to be buying out of the club. So I bought out of the club. So I guess in that sense, it's either you either pay the money or you move on. I've lost interest in this transfer because it's either you do it or you don't do it. You can't want a player, but at the same time, you're not going to be at least trying something. Because even if the price is not 85 million and you go up to that and it's that it, then you know that it's a case where they just don't want to sell him. But if it's a case where we've not even bidded higher than 60, or we're planning to go to 70 million pounds, then the nine itself means that they want the player, they like the player, but at the same time, the injury issues that he's had has creeped into their thoughts on should we be spending highly on this player when he's had these injuries that keeps him out for 2 weeks or 2 months or things like that. And I think for me, I think I just don't think that this is worth wasting 2 more weeks on a player. If the player wants to leave, you try. If you're not willing to try to get close to their price range, then you move on. And there's cheaper option as well. So even if you don't want to spend up to 80, you can go for somebody who's 60, 50, 40 even. It's not difficult, and it's not rocket science. It's simple to do. And I've lost interest in the Jong situation, like I said, and I've lost interest in this transfer because you can't be playing around, wasting time. Time is running out. I cannot stress it enough. Time is running out. We have 3 weeks left, and after that 3 weeks ends, we have to ensure that we have at least 2 additions coming in, because we need to replace attackers, and we need to get somebody as a competitor for Reece James, because I'm not confident with Reece James right now. He looks complacent and he needs competition. We need to get players in so that they can compete, get players in to push each other, so that we don't have an issue where complacency kicks in, a player gets injured, and then we have to play a player who is not well suited to that position, or rather they're not quick enough to fulfill that role properly. We cannot be wasting 2 more weeks, and this has gone out to nearly 3 weeks, and I'm tired of it. You either pay the money or you walk away or you go to someone else. You don't go up and down.
Yeah, point made. Anybody else on the panel haven't spoken about Fofana? I know IB's I'm coming. I know IB's stand. IB's, have you spoken about Fofana?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I think he has. Okay, you can come in now. You can come in, Daniel. Your thoughts on the Fofana situation, so we can move in to I think you could say the final topic before we start taking questions from those in the chat.
Okay. Okay, can you basically just for the word for Fofana, Chelsea are doing the third bid today to put 82 million offer for Fofana. Um, Sky Sports News, Scavardio said on Sky Sports News they've offered him they're going to offer a third bid for 82 million to see if it gets accepted or not. If it's not going to be, if Leicester don't accept the 82 million, then I don't know what we're going to do. I just don't know what we're going to do. Like Ty said, yeah, it's getting frustrating with Frankie de Jong and Fofana. With Skriniar, I think it'd be a perfect match if we can't, if Leicester don't agree this 82 million for Fofana in this transfer market, then I think we should go for Skriniar as soon as possible and offer a bid for Skriniar. Because any day we do need a centre back who like for our defences. Like, yes, we do need a falseman, but like I've said before to everyone, Frankie de Jong, right, he wants to stay at Barcelona. Chelsea, top Violet, are trying their best to put loads of money on Fofana for a minute, so they can get the Fofana deal done and deal off. If it doesn't work, then we'll push for Frankie de Jong afterwards. It's more to Barley and Tuchel want Fofana at Chelsea as soon as possible. Fofana has basically wants to leave Leicester City. He's told in his statement, he's put it on Instagram, he ain't happy at the club. He wants Champions League for next season and he wants to be at Chelsea. So Todd Barley are trying their best here to prove the third bid, 82 million, enough to sign for the centre back player. Not 85, 82, roughly 82 million is enough to get the player, coach. Um, they are trying their best. Everything with Leicester to confirm. But 82 is enough. Yeah, they're going to put a bid in, and it's going to be announced in 24 hours. They're going to put a bid in for Fofana for 82 million, and hopefully Leicester agrees to 82 million, and then we've got Fofana. With the Frankie de Jong earlier, what I was trying to say to you, Ty, like what I was trying to say in the channel, I disagree. What it is for Todd Bowley, he's he's he wants so much. He's got so much like things that he wants to try and sort out before the players to get done. Right with Frankie de Jong, like I've said before, this deal with Frankie de Jong will be closed as soon as possible. He's trying with Frankie de Jong with Barcelona. His head just bit mussed up because a guy who owns 17 mil for Barcelona, right, for the player hasn't got his wages. He's been like at Barcelona playing for Barcelona since he signed, and he just wants his money. Yeah, but every day Todd Bowley has offered Barcelona to pay for the wages for it, and they're trying their best to get the player and get a better super option for the pay wages for Frankie de Jong. You've got to understand with Chelsea Football Club, they pay so much higher wages on other players what we've got who signed for us so far. Yeah, if Frankie de Jong's on 250 a week at Barcelona and then try to cut his wages, we're going to try to improve the wages so that other players at Chelsea are happy. Like so, it's all equal payments. If like say we put Frankie de Jong for 350 and Sterling was 150, Sterling's not going to be happy because he's saying how come he's getting more wages than
So overall, when I want to get this again, do you prefer Fofana over Skriniar or Skriniar over Fofana so we can move on?
Well, okay, coach. Like I say, yeah, Skriniar is a good centre back, yeah, and what's his name said about Fofana had better stats. Yes, he did, but Skriniar had better stats last season and all at Inter Milan. So if it comes to it, I would take Fofana over Skriniar because like tying or whatever, he's got a better option and he's young and he's got more thing. With Skriniar, it's going to be like another Thiago Silva in a year's time, yeah. And we don't want players getting old in our club. We want younger players who could be at least with us for over like 5 to 7 years to when they get older. So if it comes to it, coach, I will take Fofana over Skriniar.
Yeah, I think you and I again. I wouldn't say you and I the same. I would take Fofana. Yeah, we're the same. You said Fofana over Skriniar, right? Because he's
Yeah, yeah,
younger and is playing it
he's
already in the
younger.
Premier League. There's no guarantee again that Skriniar will adapt. How quickly he will adapt to the way we play, and again the Premier League. But that's by the way. Again, we need a DOF. I think the club they are working on it. If you're following the news, they're talking with a few notable names in that field. I think they will get in one, probably not during this transfer window. Maybe I'm not sure when. Kuku playing at LCB would be like Rudy was bringing in the ball out and joining in the attack, but with a better ball control. He's better on the ball. Yep, I get that argument, but the truth is, I think we'll still be wasting Kukureya's talent if we play him at that position. But I think in some cases, because he's able to fulfill that role, circumstances may well lead to him being played in that particular position. Ty is not feeling well. That's why he's lost his lost interest. Get well soon. Yes, people in the chat again. I'm not gonna say openly what happened here, but we all need to, if you believe in God, say a prayer for Ty to recover quickly. Just let him know how much we love him. I'd really appreciate that. Again, he loves the channel. He's a brother. He's a friend who's become a brother. Again, please take some time to a second to wish him well so he recovers quickly. And then I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom. A few stuff I will skip, but I saw something from Chelsea Kingslayer that I wanted to read, where he says the panic bus is now full. We need a panic train. I think that's the case. But that's, by the way, I'm scrolling to the very, very, very bottom. And again, I'm going to start you on this one, Declad. I think the Aubameyang link is getting serious, really, really serious. And this is Fabrizio Romano saying Chelsea are now considering Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as potential new striker. Discussions have already started on players' side. Still no bid to Barcelona. He's one of the names in Chelsea's list after meeting for Sesko and other targets. Declare your thoughts. And here, the second thing we got from him also is that Thomas Tuchel is pushing with Todd Boehly to sign Aubameyang as he is considered perfect striker, but Barcelona have not received official proposal yet. So where is the pushing going? Some comments. Some tweets just confuse you. So where are they pushing from? It's just confusing a bit. But overall, what I want to hear from you is it something you want to see happen, declared, and do you think he'd be a perfect fit for us?
I mean, tweets trying to say that Tuchel is pushing Todd Boehly to make it happen. But yeah, I want to see it happen.
Maybe that may well be. Maybe just remove with here. And then it becomes what you just said. That may well be the case, but if we're really pushing it, why are we not pushing at Barcelona? And not? But go ahead.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're probably sussing out the situation. It's probably Aubameyang's agent that has been shopping around. Maybe he's got one. I'm pretty sure he's only got 1 year left, and now Lewandowski came in as well. And maybe his position isn't that great anymore. So, just for the same reasons I want Ronaldo, is the same reason I want Aubameyang. I think he has the characteristics to play along the whole three, and he's a goal machine. I mean, something that every attack we have almost lacks. He can score. We lack that.
This is just off the topic. What's happening to his hairline? Go ahead.
He's always had that hairline. But it's better for heading the ball, I guess. So, I'm not going to take that away from him.
Just go ahead, Declan.
So, I mean, if it's optimal performance hairline, we're going to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
This guy scores goals. That's what I'm going to... That's pretty much sums it up. Mm-hmm. And that's what we want. Our attackers are far from it. I'm kind of... It's been a problem for seasons, 3 seasons, I think, more. I mean, it's I hate watching the game, and it's been our biggest problem where everyone wants creativity, and that. We actually make good chances. People fluff all their chances. I mean, people brought up Pulisic. Pulisic has actually on stats, he actually looks better than he actually looks, but Pulisic has fluffed some of the easiest chances I've ever seen. He's not that far off Werner. So I mean, that's what Pulisic is. We have a full team who give away and stuff up easy chances, and they can make the difference. Big up, Louis. So I want him in. So same reason I don't care. People can complain his age and his wage, but it's something we're missing. The same reason I wanted Ronaldo as well.
Yeah, some people are concerned about his behavior at Arsenal, especially. But I think one of those were IBZ, who's on the panel right now. But I think he's come to understand maybe the manager is the problem, and Arteta didn't handle it well.
Yeah, because
and like I argued yesterday,
he didn't have that problem under Emre, yeah.
Sorry?
Under Unai Emre, he didn't have that problem.
No, he didn't, and it wasn't just him. Remember, Arteta fell out. Didn't he fall out with Xhaka too?
I won't point blame.
Yeah, he had issues with Xhaka, so that means there's a pattern to it. I think he had issues with the older players.
Blame Arteta. No. I wouldn't just blame Arteta.
I'm not blaming just Arteta here. I'll come to you in a bit, IBZ.
Like I said, I had an argument with Arteta and all, so that's why, like I said, left Arsenal. It was Arteta who caused the problem with Aubameyang and Sesko. And
just my point is this. There's a pattern to it. And once there's a pattern, it becomes a habit. But go ahead, Declare, if you're still talking. My point is, he had issues with Lacazette. He had issues with Xhaka. He had issues with Aubameyang. But he was more vocal in the case of Aubameyang. He shouldn't be speaking about it publicly like that. But again, if you ask me, I'd say maybe the case was just clash of egos. He wants to be fully in charge. And Aubameyang, given his performance the 2 previous seasons, was probably to some measure feeling like he's a god at Arsenal there. But I must still argue I don't see that happening under Thomas Tuchel. But go ahead, Declare, round off your point so I can bring you someone else to let us know what they think about Aubameyang coming to Chelsea.
Yeah, I was pretty much done. But I got to head off as well. So big up everyone. And hopefully we get a transfer in very soon. I think I resonate with some of the people. People are getting frustrated reading a lot that we're close. But I mean, just people got to, stop reading everything. I know everything. Get yourself hyped up. Something's going to happen.
Or simply don't believe in everything you read.
Yeah, there's just too much. There's just too much out there. There's too much of the same stuff. There's random names popping up. I think we just wait. I think people are pretty sure there are. We're getting another player in at least. I believe there's probably more than one. So we'll see. We're
still getting like 3 players in. If what we're seeing that Thomas Tuchel wants to clear out his attack and rebuild the attacking area too. But go ahead.
Yeah, and more outgoing too. So it's going to be a crazy few weeks, and we could see a crazy deadline day as well, when everything comes together. So,
thank you very much, Declare. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's all I was going to say. It's going to be exciting rather than get excited rather than panic. And
thank you very much, Declare, for finding the time to join us. But the truth remains, we need a panic train. The boss will not be enough, according to the beautiful game. And I understand where that is coming from. So I'm going to catch up with the chat, come to Ty, and then go to IBZ and Daniel. And then again, I think at that point we should call it a day. If we have time, we'll take questions from those in the chat. Liam Lane says, will someone please explain to me why they still want to keep Cho, or other than he is a Cobham boy because he has done basically nothing in 4 years. Again, that sentiment, you could argue. There's also the fact that he's still a kid. And we've seen flashes of what he's capable of doing. He just needs time. To me, I'm part of those who thinks he still needs time. And plus, it only makes sense to keep him, given that we know what he's capable of doing at his state. And we need a quota, a measure of homegrown quota which is required. And who else comes in from the academy that would do better than him? I'm not sure yet. Says PJ says now we got a panic boat in the end of the season. It'd be like the Titanic, but Titanic let us sink. So I don't want to be on that one too, but I'm not panicking yet. So funny how Twitter is setting the price of a player. Again, that's been the case for a while. Alba will be a fatter for Chelsea. Please not. How do you mean? Have you looked at his numbers at Arsenal or in the Premier League overall? If you, again, you want to look at that, I honestly do urge you to. Alba scored 22 goals in 1920, and then, he did that in 2 consecutive years, actually. So if we get that guy, then it's a steal for us. The question is, will Barcelona let him go? I don't know, but can they promise him enough game time? I don't know either. So I think Tuchel speaks highly of him every time he spoke of the player. It's all good stuff. And again, I'm not concerned about disciplinary issues at Arsenal. I think that changes at Chelsea Football Club. But that's, by the way, again, says Ty is correct. We do indeed create our chances, but we lack being clinical. This is the issue. Again, we don't need a point of reference, but I don't think Aubameyang comes in as a point of reference. He's a he can, help. He can also participate in the fluid if you prefer fluidity. He's our guy. He's not a traditional number 9. Again, but that's, by the way, Pulisic has more goals than 80 million Sancho. Oh, that's something to take home with. But that's, by the way, Arsenal still have that clowns. Again, I wouldn't call him a clown. We don't know what went down there. Coached him. Okay. What did you say? Okay. Tuchel has coached him at Dortmund, so hoping discipline wouldn't be a problem. I don't think it will be. Plus, again, you have to consider that Tuchel, he has Silva, and they won something together. So maybe if Aubameyang comes, we win something together. They win something together at Chelsea. Pulisic is more. Again, I've read that one too. I've read that one. And here's Lionel Jewell saying Arsenal players that come to Chelsea win trophies. I want to see that one happen too. So, why I'm at it, if you haven't, take a second to go check Lionel Jewell's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. Also, go check out the Ty Talks YouTube channel. Again, be sure to subscribe and let him know I sent you. I'd really appreciate that. That's a way to show him you love his contributions on the panel. And it says, imagine being a world-class striker, having to take instructions from an unproven bomb manager like Arteta. That's why I argued the issue then may have been clash of egos and all that. So I'm going to scroll to the very bottom. Comment to Ty. Ty, your thoughts on Aubameyang being linked to Chelsea Football Club. Do you have a problem with that, or do you think it's something that will work?
I have no problem with it. I don't. I think it's something that could work. I think it could. I mean, it's not because of the fact that he's worked with Tuchel, but it's because of the player that he is, the way he performs, the fact that he can also create for his teammates, and plus he doesn't move like he's 33. So I mean, those are all good indications for me. I think it's a case where if he comes in, it would work completely. I don't think there will be an issue. And I mean, like you said, I don't think there will be an issue with a clash of egos or anything, because Tuchel has worked with him, so he'll understand. Because I don't think he has really changed that much from his time working with Tuchel. Obviously, he's probably scored more goals, but I don't think that in terms of the player he is, that has really changed. He's still not a welcoming person in terms of the attitude that he has or he had at Arsenal. So it's not a case where you'd have to be concerned about if he's going to be bringing any big ego or things like that, because that has never been the personality that I've seen from him. So I'm okay with the link. But it all depends on the decision that is taken, and if the sale is possible and the purchase is something that can actually happen or it can come to reality.
Yep. Again, and Ty, thank you for that. And says coach says coach coming to the panic airplane with me. We will travel around the world. Nope, nope. I will not. I didn't even get into the panic bus, and I didn't. I will not get onto the panic train. Like Bluetooth game says, let alone the panic airplane. You go ahead, drive. You have a lot of passengers already, so you don't need me. Aubameyang takes care of himself. That's the truth. I think he's very fit, always fit. If you see him run, you won't even suspect he's 30. Actually, Oba is a good player. Wonder why Chelsea didn't take him when Arsenal let him go. He's always the scores goes more than 10. Again, that's the truth. Again, the case may have been his salary then, but the new owners Todd Bowley is known not to shy away from paying players as long as you can deliver. And the new structure for the players' salary, I think everything comes down to your overall performance. Then you reach a certain measure. I'm not sure the real structure, but I've been researching to try to find out more about it, but I haven't. Alba and De Jong is a reasonable choice. Again, matching with TT's ideas of game plan. And again, we've all called for the managers to be back. Kuchila, who is the creative player at Chelsea? None at this point is set for Hakim Ziyech. But he hasn't been, you could argue he hasn't been utilized properly, or haven't, because he's a specialty player. He hasn't, we haven't played with a formation where he gets to play at his preferred position. He's the best passer in the team at this point in terms of chance creation or defense splitting passes, but for some reason Thomas Tuchel don't trust him that much, and he hasn't started enough games that you can say we'll see more of his creativity again. But yeah, we need to do something about our midfield in terms of chance creation. The problem of not creating chances, even when the attackers make good runs, I think it's glaring. It's there. I think the disparity is huge between players we know that can create chances. We need midfielders who can create chances, score goals. That way, we'll be able to. We'll do better than we've done in the past few years without such caliber, with those caliber of players. But that's, by the way. Again, let me see what else we have in the chat here. Andrew says, forget that Depay to Juve. So Aubameyang will stay at Barca, help a lot. I'm not sure if he stays. If we're pushing. Before Thomas Tuchel pushes for us to get him, which means it simply means he's spoken with the player. But the only concern will be would Barca be willing to let him go? We don't know. And will he accept playing second fiddle to Robert Lewandowski? We don't know either. And there's no space actually for him on the flanks because they have wingers, natural wingers who are actually pretty good, including Dembele and some other players there. Chelsea goals come from the wings. Liverpool creative players are the left back and right back, but we don't just want it to end there. We want the midfielders to be able to create chances. So, Daniel, your final thoughts on everything we've talked about?
Yeah, Aubameyang. Well, I was thinking about coach. I think if he comes to Chelsea, I think part of the deal might be Alonso. Because
I think the Alonso deal is actually done and dusted. The only thing left is for Barca. I think what I showed on the screen before, they have to register players. Some of the players have signed to make room. I'm not sure how that is related, but I think his deal, there's nothing, no hold up, and it's not related with the Aubameyang deal, no. But go ahead.
Yeah, coach, I've heard a rumor on Sonic's Twitter. Barcelona can't get Alonso for the minute because of the players with the agreement of their financials. They've got to sell players to get Alonso. But on the rumor on Twitter, apparently someone's put that they're going to try to do a deal with Alonso with Aubameyang, a part of the Aubameyang deal. Because with Aubameyang, what it is, yeah, like you got to understand. He played for Barcelona last year and scored goals for Barcelona last year. Yeah, they've got so many players who play up front, like Memphis Depay, Aubameyang, and now they've just brought in Lewandowski. So if it's the case, if Lewandowski is going to be playing more regularly than Aubameyang, like Ty said, it would be a good opportunity if we could try get Aubameyang in, do a part of Alonso. Then that'd be a good deal because with Aubameyang, like before, when he was at Arsenal, Michael Arteta, I think his confidence dropped when he scored less goals because of the arguments at Arsenal, like with Lacazette. It goes with Lacazette. He was quality at Arsenal. He was banging goals, like with Aubameyang. He had a massive falling out with Arteta. Then he's dropped. And that's why he left the club for Arsenal. With Aubameyang, if like I said before, even though I didn't want him, but like I said yesterday, coach, we're struggling to score goals this season. We haven't, like, the way we played on Saturday. We didn't like approve of much attacking force, and we couldn't create more goals. If Aubameyang comes in for us, it'll be actually a good idol. So with him and Sterling working together, it'll improve our scoring range in the box.
Mhm.
And Aubameyang's lethal, right? I have to admit, Aubameyang is lethal. When it gets in the box, no matter what, if he's skinny, anything, yeah, he's still strong on the ball. His physicality at front, yeah, he could do the work. He could dribble players. He could dribble defence. I've seen. He's done it. He's proven himself. He's done it a amount of times. Took two players on and scored into a left corner. He could do that.
So overall, you think we should get him, and he will be good for us.
Yeah, it'd be good for us. Even though I didn't, like I said before, I didn't want Aubameyang at Chelsea, but Aubameyang's always been class. I've always liked Aubameyang. I have liked Aubameyang, yeah, when he was at Borussia Dortmund. But when I saw him at Arsenal, I wondered why Aubameyang was the way he was. And now seeing him playing at Barcelona last season, I was watching the videos last night of him with the play he was playing at Barcelona last season. It's improvement. Thomas Tuchel make him back to his best as a striker. Thomas Tuchel's worked with him so many times. He's never had any doubt about Aubameyang. He's always faithful towards Aubameyang. He knows Aubameyang. It's like he said that Aubameyang's like family to him. So if he comes to Chelsea, right, like last night, a couple of my mates from who's Chelsea fans, yeah, coach, yeah, was ringing me up last night. We don't want Aubameyang. I said, why not? The way he was asked, but yeah, I said that's silly talk. That's silly talk. I said, look what he's done at Barcelona. How many goals did he score up? I told him last night. I said, and he goes, oh yeah, bring him in then. But it'd be a flop when it comes to us, like Lukaku was. I said, you can't. No, it won't. I said, Thomas Tuchel's worked with Aubameyang. He'll make him a better player. He's 33 years of age. Yes, fair enough. He's 33 now, yeah. But he's still improving himself. He's still got the talent to sprint. Who kind of name another 33-year-old guy who's got the pace like Aubameyang, what he does now. No other player. So if it comes to it, coach, I think Aubameyang it'll suit us and he'll score goals for us this season.
Yeah, I think so too. So thank you very much for that great contribution. We've come to the end of the show, and I want to thank you, Daniel. I want to thank Ty. Ty, you want to say anything else? Talk about your channel or anything else? What do you want to do, bro?
So I'll just quickly say something about my channel. I'm probably not it.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. And I'll remind me later to add your credentials in the description section. The other screen is giving me issues. It's frozen. Usually I do it midway through the show. And I think we should start talking about whenever you have time so that I can add it before the show starts so that it's easier. But go ahead, Ty. Talk about your channel. And let me see if I can actually share the link while you talk about it. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah. Well, the name of the channel is Chelsea F.C. It's a channel where obviously it's still the transfer season, so I think I've done a couple of videos on each transfer that we've done for the first team, and I mean the most recent one was obviously on Cucurella. I gave a bit of my thoughts in terms of what he could bring, and I mean it's the most recent video. So you can always check that out. It's at 400 plus views right now, so I'm appreciative of that. And I'm currently 26 away from 300 subscribers. So the hope is that I can get to 300, and then I'll see what happens from there. But it's a channel where when the season continues, I will do previews and reviews as best as possible, and then after that, I'll see what happens in terms of that. But it's a channel that's focused on Chelsea. It's filled with, well, in my opinion, opinions that are coming from a calm and probably a rational manner, and it's not me ranting most of the time, so you can always check it out. It's a channel that has gotten good feedback, and I know some persons here are appreciative of the channel, so I respect that. And also, I just want to quickly say thank you to everybody who was wishing me well as well. I appreciate it.
Thank you there. It's Ty. I sincerely do hope you get well soon. 4 players of Fofana, De Jong, Aubameyang, backup for James. The best. We don't use the language backup. Competition is the language. The rest, we're talking, it's small. That's a Niger way of talking. Trust Tuchel. He will build up our team like Man City and Liverpool. Just a matter of time. He needs time, and that's not going to be within a year. Why not Boozy? Julius says we don't need Zaha at the moment. Again, it all comes down to what the manager wants. We can argue it from now to tomorrow. It doesn't change anything. I saw a game where Tuchel was playing in 3-4-3 at Dortmund. He's played a zillion formations at Dortmund. It was against Monaco, but Alba had a disaster clash. But hey, who am I to talk? Yeah, I get that. But that's right. With this Tire Talks channel, the link to Tire Talks YouTube channel, please click through it or copy it. Go subscribe right now. Let's move him up. Again, he deserves more. He has just 274. Let's try and get him to 300 subscribers as soon as possible. He's been doing quite a lot for the Chelsea Perspective community. Please go and subscribe to Tire Talks YouTube channel. Do me that favor. I'd really appreciate that. Says all on board. The train will be leaving Stamford Bridge at the end of the show. I will not be on it by who's gonna drive it? Be careful. Zaha, Aubameyang, Stalin. I think that would be good. Again, Chelsea OG says, yeah, good channel. Yep, thank you very much for saying that. I know you're talking about Tire Talks YouTube channel. Get Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar to Chelsea. It would make sense. You could add Lewandowski to that list. It makes perfect sense. And Benzema too. Holla at my channel to be be well, guys. CFC OG, big up to the panel. Again, let me know when you launch your channel. I really would like to be part of it. And thank you for all your support to the Chelsea Perspective community. I cannot thank you enough. The Bluetooth again. Yep. Again, that's hilarious. Hold on to Cho. With time, he will be much better than Zaha. Again, I wouldn't swap them both. I have to be honest. Again, let me end the poll quickly. The UN does a swap deal for Cho and Zaha. 61% says yes, and 39% says no. That is concerning to me. Again, thank you for 200 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It's not about formation. It's about the system and right players. Yep. And I think some people need to be educated on what's the system and what's how they differ. System and formation differ. Maybe another day. Again, Ty highlighted that the other day. Again, I've seen two people have subscribed to Ty Talks YouTube channel. If you haven't, please take a second to go do that. Let's get him to 300 as soon as possible. Ziyech wants out of Chelsea under TT, who is destroying his footballing career. I wouldn't put it that way. That's harsh. But again, it hasn't worked for him under Thomas Tuchel, so he's better off leaving. I have to say that. I subscribe to Ty's channel. Thank you very much, Kim. So I appreciate that. We're family here. Kachila, tell me why Tuchel played 3 at the back when Everton were playing a 5 flat at the back. He needs to be flexible, dependent on the opposition. I think he does that actually. He's always flexible at the back. I have to tell you that for some reason that hasn't happened, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. Again, Aubameyang can rest in the World Cup period because he doesn't play in the national team, which means we should get him. And here's Fabrizio Romano say, here we go. Hello, everyone. I am the same as Fabrizio Romano. Okay, we can actually verify that by clicking through your link there. You asked me a question about the transfer window. Answer, yeah, we get it. Thank you, but you joined late. TT gets Ziyech, UEFA Champions League though, Club World Cup, Super Cup. Am I missing anyone? I am subscribed. That's Ty's best wishes for a speedy recovery. Thank you very much for saying that. Again, Fraser HK, big up, coach. Oh my goodness, you came late, but more importantly, HK and I said, Fraser, I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a while. Please do let me know that you're fine. Again, Kimso, producer, you mean? Okay. Again, we don't do that here. You don't say, even changing your name to this is dangerous. It's not going to be helpful to your channel. I have to tell you that. YouTube will block you soon. Again, Gabon don't play at the World Cup, which would be good for us. Again, so yeah, but what's it called again? The Nations Cup comes up, and he's going to leave for that. Fabrizio Romano, please, what's going on with Ronaldo? We need him. I am doing good, thanks, bro. Just finished work. I hope all is well. Yeah, but I think there will be an evening show today. I've said said that like the past 6 years, and I've not been able to do it. By the time you know it, I'll sit down and doze off on the chair, actually, still in my studio. But I think I slept early last night, which means would be able to do an evening show today. But it's not going to be the Convo show. The Convo show, I need the what's it called? The graphics to be ready before we move on with it, and I need a proper announcement because it's going to be something different. It involves the fans, those in the chat voting to decide what panelist leaves. Again, says, yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But again, my advice, change your name is going to get you into trouble. Yes, Ronaldo and Kante, they are my favorite players. So with that, we've come to the end of the show. And I want to say thank you to Daniel. Thank you to Ty for finding the time to join us. I cannot thank you enough. And Daniel, if you have a channel, you let me know later on. I don't know yet. We'll talk about it, and I'll see how I can help you grow. Again, I want to say thank you to everyone who's found time to join us. I cannot thank you enough. It's been a brilliant show, so thank you. Thank you so much for joining us again, and I hope to see you guys again for the evening show or the next Blue Money show. Daniel, do you have a channel?
I'm working on it for a minute, Coach. Just my mates helping me sort out a channel on YouTube. Okay. I recently stream on Twitch. I do it on Twitch more than.
Okay, no problem. Just let me know. We'll talk about how I can help you also promote your channel here.
Just a quick breaking news. Chelsea's just made a statement with a third bid for 83.5 million to Fofana. But I'll talk about it tomorrow. My mates just sent me the link, so I'm going to try to send the link over to you, and we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Okay, we'll talk about it later in the day, and thank you very much for that update. I hope that gets some. Again, thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to Roger. Thank you to Andrew Falloway, Andrew Fawole, my Niger brother. I appreciate you finding time to join us. Fraser K, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Chelsea, all the way. Thank you so much. Kimso, thank you. And thank you to the captain of the house, Liam Lane. I appreciate you finding time to join us. Thank you to Just Viola, the queen of the house. Thank you. And thank you to Chelsea OG. Again, thank you for joining us. And let me know when you're ready to launch your channel. I'd really would want to be part of it. And if I miss your name, and again, says Bomba, nice to see you again, Bomba. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Again, I appreciate everyone. As if I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. Again, thank you for a brilliant show. I hope to see you guys soon. Cheers.
High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess. What's happening next?
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place. I wanna be first, work till it hurts. Dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess. What's happening next?
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place. I wanna be first, work till it hurts. Dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah.
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off, I'ma break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts. Never waste time, you got one shot, you got one life. Better pop off, what do you like? Make a dream job, no 9-5, no mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheming. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me.
Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test. Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next?
He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, it's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take a redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft. You can change lives. You create thoughts. Never waste time. You got one shot. You got one life. Better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5. No mean boss. Just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they scheme. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they drive the chains, you can say no, free me.